Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another episode on the Gurpurab series on the Shaheedi Bunga channel. Today we're going to be talking about the glory of Guru Angad Dev Ji, second Badshah Maharaj. So yes, Gurdev Singh.
Let's start straight away.
Start straight away today.
So you got none of the blurry stuff?
None of the blurry stuff today.
Okay. So, Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, by the moment they were born, they gave him the name Lehna, as we call them. Father is Baba Firumal Ji, mother is Mata Daya Kaur Ji. And typically, when it comes to the house of Guru Angad Dev Ji, Guru Amar Das Ji, you don't get much before the Gurgaddi, before they met. But Kavi Santokh Singh Ji and Nanak Prakash, they really beautifully describe the Prakash. And they describe the form of Guru Angad Dev Ji as a child using certain qualities, Devi Gun. Yeah, so this is how they describe it. I thought it was really nice. Tiraj Kima, Ojage Hasoha, Ajar, Shobeda Pariva. Tiraj and Kima, peace, forgiveness. See them as the two arms of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. They're describing their body using qualities just to show what kind of nature they had.
Right.
Yeah. Ajar, controlling the uncontrollable. See that as their pure heart. Maitri, Mudita, Jang Soha, friendship, Anand, bliss. See them as the two legs of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Kata Karuna ki Atachal. The waist, the abdomen, see that's Karuna, blessing itself, is their abdomen. Pao Badan. Prem and Sharda is their face. Man Prem Banai. Man hai another Prem. Prem itself is their mind. Samdam, Jaan ke Karan Soha. Controlling your Barle, the underlay, Indriya, the in and outer senses. See them as the two A's of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. And they end it with Dhyan Karan, level Agana Jo, Dwelochan, Shobada, Shobaso. Dhyan Lona, level only to meditate, concentrate on now. They're the two eyes of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Gyaan cease. Brahm Gyaan itself is the cease of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Jehe Kher Viraj. Then Sad Sangat, Shingar Sub Shadet. As a baby is born, parents they get Shingar Gardane, gold and so on.
Yeah.
They see, Kavi say, Sat Sangat, Eonata Shingar Hai. Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj.
So with Kavi Santokh Singh Ji, their work, the poetry, amazing.
Yeah.
For those that might not know, Kavi Santokh Singh Ji have written our beautiful, amazing history, and with the way they've written it as well, you don't need to. It's so in detail. For example, I would use this example, especially like the Battle of Jumgod.
Yeah.
And I know the movie came out, the Jar Sahib the movie, which was brilliant. That was good as well.
Definitely.
Especially for the children. It affected quite a lot of Sangat. So good. It was positive. But when you go through the Battle of Jumgod through Kavi Santokh Singh's writings, you don't need to watch the movie.
You really don't.
The movie's it plays in your mind. You just close your eyes, you listen to it, and you can just see everything happening.
What they've done
and it's much better than the movie.
100%, yeah.
And so even with the way they've described it here now.
Beautiful, I know. And even with Kavi Santokh Singh Ji, you hear recordings of Mahapurush and Sant Singh Ji, they constantly say, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, they have this khajana, treasure box, full of jewels and everything. And here and there they bring out that jewel and send it to this planet. Yeah. This is Sant Baba Ishwar Singh Ji saying, one of those jewels was Kavi Santokh Singh Ji.
Yeah.
Guru Maharaj, they themselves sent them just for this purpose of writing the Guru Itihas.
Writing the Itihas down. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And there's so many resources out there now as well. Again, for all the listeners, people watching, you go on like Guru Gujjar. There's all there's Nanak Prakash Gatha, Suraj Prakash Gatha, and it was all you've got loads of resources. It's all happening in English nowadays as well. So if you can't understand, but you know what? It's amazing with the way they've written it, the poetry they've used, the words they've used, the description. You can just start imagining it all happening.
I mean, you mentioned Gurgaddi, because I just started going through and sharing Pasha Itihas. It's speechless. Guru Maharaj themselves entering the battlefield.
Yeah.
The same shants and description Guru Gobind Singh Ji used in their Bani is reflected in Kavi Santokh Singh Ji. The Biras and the the poetic meters they use and everything. The Bakumar. There's a reason we call them Kavi Raj. Kavi among Kavis.
So now we're talking about Kavi Santokh Singh Ji. Just touch upon their life a little bit. From my understanding, they did a lot of tapa. They did a lot of simran. bhajan bandagi ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ, and then they got that bakshish of where they could like seed at the house. That was their sharda, wasn't it? They had a benti to Maharaj, they did a benti to Maharaj that I want to write the house down, and they could like literally just see it all happening, and then whenever they pick up the pen and start writing it.
Yeah.
That's why it's so much detailed, isn't it?
Yeah. They also, like in Nanak Prakash, they talk through, like, Unani Vidya Kita Prati at the time in Amritsar Sahib, the Gyaan Bunga. But it was a lineage from by Mani Singh Ji.
Yeah.
It's like their lineage, and they learn from there. Unadi Ustad going in. And what they would do is, they mention it in Nanak Prakash, I don't have it on here with me right now, but they try and find different sources as well.
Yeah.
They try to get like what was available.
Yeah.
At the time I saw Sakhi, there's like 5 different versions of it. Oda Latha Gita and everything. But then you also have that as well. Okay, aap hi bahut hi mano uchi avastha de malik sige. Yeah.
Let's continue with the writings.
Yeah. So Duje Pasha ji, we call them Bhai Lehna Ji for now, just for our understanding.
Yeah.
And so they're born in Matte East around, but then they move very early on, like to Khadur side, where they spend most of their life. And the Sangat in Khadur side, which was a village at the time, वो सारे दुर्गा देवी दे उपासक सीगे, दुर्गा माता ਨੂੰ ਪੂਜਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ. What they would do is every year they go to Jwalamukhi Mandir, which is in Kangra. It takes about a few days to walk. Every year yatra ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ darshan ਵਾਸਤੇ, to show their shraddha and so on. And that's what Kavi Ji, they mentioned this. Like the whole pendant, ਸਾਰੇ ਜਗਿਆਸੂ ਸੀਗੇ, they wanted this isha of, ਅਸੀਂ ਜੀਵਨ ਸਫਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, but that's what they knew at the time, isn't it? Yeah. Gram Khadur nar narjo, all the people in Khadur side, sevak durga ke sab so. Jahim Bark, then man Shri Jwala, Pars Kangore, Har Kushala. And by Lehna Ji, they'll be the Mukhi, the one in charge.
Yeah.
So it's Lehna, Sab Meham Mukh Hai Jai. And that's even in the pen, like the older responsibilities by Lehna Ji, they'll be the main person.
Mm-hmm.
So they were someone, they were quite rich, they had quite a big status as well.
Yeah. They would organize a yatra every year.
Yatra as well, yeah. 100%. And eventually we have this Katana, very similar to the podcast we did with the DJ Pasha Ji. There's a Gursikh in the pen called Bhai Joda, as per Kavi Santokh Singh Ji mentioned. And he's a Gursikh of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So they have this one Gursikh in the whole pen. And वो Gurbani पढ़ता सीखा दिन रात. एक दिवस में एक मन हुई. एक दिन एक मन एक चित होके बैठ के गुरबानी का जाप करता है, गुरबानी पढ़ता है. बानी पढ़े प्रेम उसमें बहुत ही प्रेम ना गुरबानी पढ़ता है. It's not like us, we just scan through and एक बच्चन ऊंची प्रेम नाल पढ़ता है.
एक बार करके देखना चाहिए, and I've had a chance to do it. Or when you get kids, when you have kids, it starts getting hard, yeah. So just like you, just on brain na kar la na kar sa. When you get kids, you have to and get it off by heart as well. Because but if you do get a chance, ever try take your time on each word, listen to it listen to the sounds that's coming out, and what is a massive difference to when you do it really fast. But having said that, some people are able to focus better when you do it fast as well. But it's different for everyone. But yeah, I can imagine how you can do it with Bairaag and all. Each.
And even then, this is like without this would not happen. So anyway, so you got Bhai Joda Singh, Bhai Joda Ji, Bachane, Prema Gurbani Pardini, and Bhai Lehna Ji, they're just walking past. Sunne Shabad, Shri Lehna Jabhi, Jagi Orede, Prem Bahut. You just hear these words from Bhai Joda Ji. And ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਗ ਪਿਆ. तब लहने मन में गिनी, वो मन में ये सोचते हैं भाई लहना जी, जिसके ऐसे बहन जिन्हां दी ये बाणी हैगी है, गुरु करो ताको अबै सुन तो होत मन चाहे, जिन्हां दे बचन सुन के मैनू शांति प्राप्त हो. I've only had a few words and मैनू शांति मिल गई. I'm going to make that person my guru, whoever's bani that is. And they asked the Gursikh, kidi bani? They said, this is bani Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, wo Gurpurab ko rehndे ne. And look at this, Bhai Lehna Ji, from Bhai Joda Ji, by listening again and again, they remember the same बानी के पंक्तियां मूजवान याद कर लेंगे भाई लहना जी. तब ते सिख के पास ते शब्द कंठ कर ले सी सारे नित प्रत पढ़ी प्रेम कर उपजे पावन नवीन. भाई लहना जी, they themselves दिन रात वही बानी वार पढ़ी जानी. Just by listening, they remembered everything. दिन रात उपजे पावन नवीन. And just by practicing this, एक नवा प्रेम उन्हां दे अंदर पैदा होया, this thirst of the darshan. And look at that. And then Kavi Santokh Singh Ji, they describe this thirst that Bhai Lehna Ji have for the darshan. कि मिलने की अभिलाषा है ऐसे इंदा एहो जी मधु पर खोज पुश कर जैसे, just as in spring you have the bee just flying around, whizzing around everywhere, trying to find a flower. Jio Mreka Piaso, Jalapota, just as in the jungles you see deers just hopping around, just trying to find that stream of water to get water. You don't chart ek boon dina, just as you have the papiha bird. When it's, southern monsoon season.
Yeah.
That's Gurgaddi,
Yeah, looks for the raindrops.
And that's the thirst Bhai Lehna Ji have for Guru Angad Dev Ji.
Is it a little bit similar to Tiji Pasha, Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj?
Completely.
You know, when they hear the Bani,
And
then on the man which they come on a din raat, they can't go sleep. They eating, drinking, forget all of that. Just want to go to the Guru Sahib Ji.
That's the path that Seva Guru Angad it starts from this separation, this Bairaag, and they have that thirst to meet the Guru.
Yeah, and it's something that we can all apply into our lives as well, isn't it? And I know we were just having a bit of a joke with, Bani Parni Sheti, or just go over. But if you do read the Bani with, so listen to the Katha of Gyaan Singh Ji, Jabati Wali, I think, or Ludhiana Wali, you can hear YouTube it, or I'm going to Jad as well, Gyaan Singh Ji. And something they said was really nice was that, you sit down before you start doing part, just for, even if you take a couple of seconds, a minute or so or whatnot, in your mind, first, get happy first. Kush, bring that happiness within you. Think about Guru Sahib Ji, and you're sanaying the Bani to Guru Sahib Ji, and do it purely out of love. When you do it out of love, then that connection with Guru Sahib Ji then gets made. And the connections will get stronger, and the relationships gets formed in that way then as well. And that's how you can progress on in this path then.
I agree. For example, you're going to sit down here and Bani Parniya. Just take a step back and think. These are the words of Guru Nanak Maharaj themselves. And the
words they've said them same words, right?
Think about it.
They've said them same words. Maharaj has said the same words.
Same words. Whatever Bani you're reading. And this is you sitting down, connecting with your Guru. Because the Gurbani is a Guru. I think if you just that of yourself.
Definitely. Definitely to something to think about, contemplate, and apply to our lives.
That's why, when you're just reading the Mahalla Dujanda, you think, there's a Guru Angad Dev Ji speaking to me directly. If you're Mahalla Panjab, this is Arjun Dev Ji Maharaj, he done this power. They're of this to me. Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj, the Thana and the Thana, O Minna Bol Dena. With all us Thana, Khed Wakri. So, now this thirst, and they make a plan. So every year they go to Jwala Mukhi, have the Darshan. And Bhai Lehna Ji, they're thinking, we're going to take a different direction because they leave the whole Sangat, right? So we're going to go towards Gurpartap, then we'll go Jwala, then we'll come back to Khadur. So that's the plan that they do. They say to everyone in Khadur side, Upper Panth, Chalakaya, Abajai. Today we'll take a different path. Shri Guru Nanak Purak Mahanna, Teko Darsh Karho Matmana, Asi Ona de Darshan Karne, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And eventually they take all the Sangat, it takes a few days, they get to Gurpartap side. And Bhai Lehna Ji, they're asking people around. They're like, whose village is this? And there's this man over there, this random person. Hey, whose village is this? Then he says, Kya hai sonar, Jag Guru Godetai, Shri Nanak Sota Pagai. This is the Nagar of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, Jagat De Guru. Shri Nanak and then sare. Baho nar dur deshte aate. Log bahut hi dur honde ne. Just have darshan Guru Nanak Maharaj Ji. Dars kar hain, nich ich puja. Jere bhi honde ne, unna di man di ichha puri ho jandi hai. And the moment Bhai Lehna Ji hear this, that I'm finally reached the Nagar of that Satguru, Jidi Vani mein var padda. I've just been trying to imagine who is this person. This is Kavi describing exactly what it is. Son har kyo na ang samava. Jyon kirpan ko tan bhau paave. Literally, inni khushi paida hundi hai. And just from looking far away, they're unable to contain it. Like you can just see it physically. That happiness. That of course, that's what coming to the place of Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And the way Kavi Ji they describe, they say smiling, they're unable to control it. They want to keep it inside now, but they're unable to do that.
It just reminded me of it's just a similar feeling that I can kind of relate to a little bit. Is whenever you get a chance to go to Dharam-saal, Amritsar. This is when I was a kid. First time I went, and when you're outside the complex and you're walking towards the Dharam-saal complex, and you know how you can see Harmandir Sahib, like from far. You start getting happy in it. You get like it's different kind of emotions actually. It's happy. You get happiness, Bairaag bhi hunda hai, like I've come finally to this amazing place, and that happened when I was a kid. But the truth is that every single time I've gone and I've seen it from far, or
it happens definitely. It's just from far away when you enter, you see it from far away. The bath, like
the bathtub,
there's
Another one I can say is Anandpur Sahib as well. From far, as soon as you see Takht Sahib, oh, बहुत खुशी मिलती है फिर. But I can just imagine how Bhai Lehna Ji would have been feeling.
Yeah. And the way the simile they use over here, it's Jion Kirpan ko tan bahu paoge. Just imagine someone that's really poor, really confused banda. Imagine him winning the lottery. Get that cost. You've seen it probably, people, they go crazy. In the same way, they're saying, Bhai Lehna Ji, they're unable to control this happiness. They can't. They're trying to control it, but they can't. And at the same time, so you have Bhai Lehna Ji, now you have to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Guru Angad Dev Ji, this is what they're thinking. Sevak hamra aavt hui, sada param sevak aa gaya. Unhone jaan liya, Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj ne. Mohe raaj ka dhani jo bhai. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਰਾਜ ਦਾ ਧਨੀ ਹੋਊਗਾ, the one that will be the malik of this khajana, this bhakti da naam da khajana, this gurgaddi, ਉਹ ਆ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ this ਨਿਜ ਆਸਨ ਤਜ ਕਰਤਵ ਆਏ ਵਹਿਰ ਗ੍ਰਾਮ ਠੰਡੇ ਤੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, they get up from their asana and they go outside and stand there. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਾਣ ਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਡਾ the heir to the gurgaddi is here. And this, I'm going to mention this now, but later on, the reason why I do these tests is just for the sangat, to show the sangat. Above everyone else. Anyways, so Duje Pasha Ji, Bhai Lehna Ji, they make their way and they ask Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, who they don't know who it is.
So before we continue, I've heard this. I haven't heard the Sakhi through Nanak Prakash, but I've heard the Sakhi many times through maybe different sources or Gatha or whatever. But yeah, I'm interested to find out what was going to happen in there. How does it happen? How did it play out? So let's listen to it.
So Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj khade ne. Then you have Bhai Lehna Ji ghodi te on their horse. Ab log the bolyo tab Shri Nanak Gun Khan. They say to this man that they don't know who it is.
So Bhai Lehna Ji doesn't know, they've just met Guru Angad.
They don't know. They don't know. Kehte hain darshan ki chaah mujh So kaun hai? They say to this one, I'm here to meet Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. I've heard the Gunadi Khan ne.
The reason that Bhai Lehna Ji doesn't know is Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj is because they would have been in simple clothes, just blending in with everyone else. But I think from the Sakya that I've heard is that they might have even had they were doing kheti or they were doing work at that point.
So according to Nanak Prakash, that's afterwards. That's like the second time they meet them.
Alright.
So they asked Guru Angad, so they asked this man, who is where's Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj? I've heard so much about them. I suna ke ye another nagar aaye the vaste ne. And Bhai Pasha Ji, what they do is they take that horse and chalo, don't worry, follow me, I'll take you to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Bhai Lehna Ji, they're on the horse. Ask kya hai, Shri Gur challe agaye, Satguru Sache Pasha Ji, wo aage chalde ne. Ehe bajan par jaye pichari piche, you have Bhai Lehna Ji on their kodi. And eventually, Satguru Maharaj, they come to their Gurastan, where's the Takht is. Badwa parte ab uttarija, is caste ke sampadija. So this is in lots of detail. Guru Nanak Sache Pasha Ji, they say to Bhai Lehna Ji, chalo tusi han uttar jo, tie this horse to that stump over there, wash your hands, jo tusi karna kar lo. And they say, tumre samukh khair dar jo. You see that door over there? Par pravishya ho, this man darshan so. Open that door, then darshan ho jayenge. Bhai Lehna Ji, sat bachan. The moment they're getting off, they tie the horse down, they wash their hands, sponge shnana kar dene, and they go through that door. So they don't even look. ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬੰਦਨਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਕਿਹਾ ਬੰਦਨ ਕੀਨੀ ਅਤ ਸ਼ਰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਮਤ ਜਿਹੇ ਪੀਨੀ ਆਂਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਸ਼ਰਦਾ ਨਾਲ ਬੰਦਨਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਂਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਬੈਠ ਪਛਾਣਿਓ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਉਹੀ ਨੇ when they look up ਪੰਥ ਬਤਾਓ ਆਪ ਜੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰਸਤਾ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਉਹੀ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਪਛਤਾਉਂਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੇ ਭਾਈ ਲਹਿਣਾ ਜੀ ਅਚਰਜ ਗੁਣ ਕਹਿ ਭਇਓ ਹੈਰਾਨ ਹੀ ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਔਗਣ ਵੱਡੋ ਆਪ ਤੇ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵੱਡਾ ਔਗਣ ਕੀਤਾ ਪਾਪ ਕੀਤਾ. I was on that horse. And they all are, on the floor.
But if you think about it, they've met Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. They don't know it's Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. They've asked about Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Where are they? Who are they? And then Maharaj will go, "Chalo, I'll take you to them." But Guru Sahib themselves walk. And but it's a bit like we refer to Guru Sahib Ji as Mata Ji, Pita Ji, therefore. And to me, that's the relationship of a father and a child, isn't it? You know? So Guru Angad Dev Ji Pitaji, and they're taking their child.
Yeah.
You know?
And we see this so many times. Like small things pop up. I don't know if I've included it in here, but whenever Bhai Lehna Ji they meet Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, Guru Maharaj ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੱਥੇ ਤੇ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਤੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਮਨੋ they give blessings as well. May you forever remember Vaheguru. So like small things like that come up. And this is, again, like we said, the flame goes two ways. You have the flame that Gursikh has, which we learn a lot about here, but also the Guru as well. Yeah. Especially in the Patran Pastor podcast that we did. You see, the Guru worries for the Gursikh. So the Guru Maharaj will get that chadar and lay down. Start worrying about how am I going to save my Gursikh.
So now, as you're saying it, I'm probably just imagining the scene of them walking through the door, doing Matha Tek to Maharaj, looking up and realizing what have I done?
Exactly. And the moment that happens, Bhai Lehna Ji will just chop karke bende ne. And man je pachtai jande ne. And they're doing darshan of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. And quite some time passes by. And eventually Guru Nanak Sacha Pasha Ji say, Purkha, Janno jehe thal mahi, bek utaryo jao ke na. Chalo tu darshan kar le. But the reason you came here with your Sangat, someone, was to go Jwalamukhi to Stal Johan. Do what you came here to do for. You know, what you intended to do, finish that. And that's why Bhai Lehna Ji, they give this beautiful example. They say, Sunho Prabhu, mad toran hota, koi je gamne chor ne keta. Te ko mag mein amrit pai, sonar kyo mad toran jai. They give this example. Say, let's say someone was to leave the house in order to go somewhere to find some honey. But raste vich amrit mil gaya, the nectar of life. Why would he carry on to get honey? That's the example they give. And then they say, Bhai Lehna Ji hath jod ke, tum darshan te param ananda ke he mara, tade darshan kai manu param anandi prapti hoyi. प्राप्त गायो मोह सुख कंदा बेग भगत देवी को सब ही कर विचार को त्याग्यो तभी जैसे जेरा मैं भेख बनाया वा देवी दी पूजा करने वास्ते मैं सारा कुछ छड़ देना मैंने चाहिदा नहीं हां they have this certain बाना पाया सीगा देवी वास्ते वो छड़ देता और ते आशा अपर बड़ी महाराज have left everything all hopes desires of this life तारे चरणा ची रखते होए रहे हो गुर चरण धारी महाराज the only support I have from now on this day onwards is your चरण तारे चरणा ची रहना मैं. That's and Sadhguru Maharaj, they smiled, Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. And eventually they asked him, Tera naam kiya? Purkha, Sadan hai kis thori. Now what's your name? Muskat Bujio, they say, what's your name? Where are you from? Sarabas person, Kaun naam?Nej dekhe bata. And they say, my name is Lehna, I'm from Khadur. And they say, Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Dekho pehlo hi bakshish kar dinde. Shri Guru kahe, Lehne, ten Lehna. Sun Purkha, humne hai dena. तेरा नाम लेना है तू लेना ही है सब ਅਸੀਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ ਦੇਖੋ ਇਹ ਪਹਿਲੋ ਹੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼.
So something to important to note there for what I'm learning from that is that Bhai Lehna Ji every year would do a yatra to Jwalamukhi. And but this one time now when they've heard about Guru Nanak, they've heard the Bani of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they've done Darshan of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and the ananda that they got from listening to the Bani. And the ananda that they got from doing darshan of Guru Sahib Ji, they've never had that ananda before, have they? From going every year to that to wherever they went to by taking all the sangat. Kade oh ananda प्राप्त नहीं होया, पर इत्थे Guru Sahib के दर्शन करके they got that ananda there.
That's it. And you see that in the world as well. You know, we go about our days and so on. Eventually, when you take your time out and you go to the Sharan of Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj, Matha Tek with them, that ananda, that peace you get from the sadhsang. Stress relief, that is.
Literally. From the stresses of the world. It is. At the moment you go and sit there in the Sangat apne aap within Guru Sahib Ji Charan, then all the stresses of the world, just for them a couple of hours or however long you sit there, they go.
And you mentioned like Bhai Lehna Ji, they finally got this anand. And Kavi Ji, they describe it like this. Sun lehna har kyo ride jo ammi vakam. Just as you have a kid, first time they eat a mango. Oh, kya anand. That's what Bhai Lehna Ji's experience by having darshan of Guru Nanak Sacha Pasha. So eventually, Guru Maharaj said, "Chalo tusi chal jo man, mor ke darshan kar liyo jal sama banaya." They don't want to go, but oh, who come on, they didn't. Now all the travelers there as well. Bhai Lehna Ji, they say to their sangat, to the travelers, "So look, you guys go to Jwalamukhi. I'm going to go back home now."
Okay.
So I'm not going to go to Jwalamukhi. Sare haran hain. Why? Bismay, saathi sun behna. कहने लगे क्यों जाओ कहना नहीं चलत अब ज्वाला पौना ऐसा को मालूम होना who's going to take us there? पहले कि नहीं मैं जाना ही हूँ तुसी जाओ आप ही जाओ. This is a response. सुन लेना पुन बोलियो जैसे ही तो ज्वाला जाए just what you mentioned before, huh? The reason we go to Jwalamukhi in the first place, so Karaj Puran Payo, Shant Pai, Chitra, Mino Prapt Ho Gaya. The one thing I was looking for the whole time, Mino Melpe Ha, Mino Jururat Nahi Jaan. And they tell the travelers, okay, you guys go, when you come back, come back here, Kartarpur Ayo, Fir Asi Mor Ke Kare Ayo. And Ohi Bajon Di Sakhi. So Bhai Lehna Ji, they go back to Khadur Sahib, and all of a sudden they go to Jwalamukhi to do their darshan. So Bhai Lehna Ji, as they go back, they're thinking the next day comes, they're like, okay, I want to meet Guru Angad Dev Ji, but I want to do it properly this time. Manoj Sharda Karke. They might peta leki jani langar waste. So I mean, look at this. They take a peta, tarfat pi pun sar pun. Otto kino as kam. Ek kam kita par sawa man lawn ko 60 kg bag of loan for the langar.
Okay. Look at the details. Look at the details.
Yeah, mass. Yeah. And what they do is 60 kg, which is 60 kg. Sell it on their head. And the moment this happens, their nephew, they see this. He runs to them. Okay? You na karo ho je. Wo je se menu de do. Aisa na karo, na tusi pind de mukhi lagde ne, wo badde a. Jahan le chalon tahe kam niche. Neg sir par nah par uchaavo. Tusi inda na karo. Why? Eh tum uchit nahi dudh pa mar. Mama ji tanu changa nahi lagda. Tusi pind de mukhi lagde ho, badde ho. Menu de do. But they refuse. Bhai Lehna Ji, nahi. Main aap hi jana. Tu uthega. One takes on my head, and they walk all the way from Khadur to Gurpartap side like that. And they see Mata Sulakhani Ji, the wife of Guru Angad Dev Ji. They give the peta. The Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj kithe ne? He said, oh, kheti karde ne. Udhar chal. And that's Bhai Lehna Ji, they make their way to the farm of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. And again, look at this. Again, Kavi Ji, they're just emphasizing the avastha of the Gursikh and the prem they have for their Guru. Bhai Lehna Ji, they're making their way to the farm. Pekat dur te. As you mentioned, when it comes to the bars, I just see from far away. During the Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj Swarup, doing kheti, Guru Maharaj themselves, Manandu Khushi paida hundi. Param prem kar kya tatkala. Paryo paye pankaj tar pala. They say tatkal, they run towards Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj the moment they see him. And Sindha Charnana pehante ne, Vandana karte ne. Guru Maharaj hatte, mathe te hath rakhte ne, may you forever remember Vaheguru. Sada tu Parmeshwar tere man vich vasta hoye. And at the time, Guru Nanak Maharaj, they're cutting their crops. Bhai Lehna Ji, they say, "Mar main karda, Mar se tithuni hona, tu rehne de." They say, "Take this patte, these like grass, for the animals, and inanu banla, and put it on your head and take it to the pasus, to our animals at the home." Eh na diyan ke bandho para, banlo, le jao ho, he to pasun ankara, pasuan vaste reh. And at the time, the crops are patte, the grass, it was drenched completely, muddy water. But again, Bhai Lehna Ji, they, someone of high status, they're quite wealthy. Jamma gara bohu molla pe. They had quite a manga, like an expensive kordam at the time. Bank sang, sagro te pare. The moment they put the crops on their head, all drenched in that muddy water. It's all brown. Nah shanka, kojre de bechari, but they didn't care. Gamne upon par sir pari. Par leke, they go towards Mata Sulakhani Ji. Mata Sulakhani Ji, they're shocked. This is what they see. Mata Sulakhani Ji, this is what they see with their own eyes. Sees, badan, kaar, pata sare. Their face, their mukh, their hands, the clothes, their bed, everything all drenched in muddy water. It's all brown, dirty. Rahayo pank lag dekh bichare. And this is what Mataji is thinking. Isko payo anadar puri. Het kar ayo hoto se duri. Inne duron aaya siga. Pahar utha ke for us. Asi ida anadar kita. We disrespected him. Then Mataji, they go to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj themselves. And they say to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj Sulakhani Ji, Dekh Sulakhani bachan bakhane, this is what say. Karho ne niradar manuj mahane. Inne mahan manu khai sige. Wealthy person, prem na laya sige. Tusi niradar karte da. On the first day. You disrespected him. Uttam purkh, aaj jo aayo, gar jamma bahu mol sohaye. Inna mehenga unhone kapde paaye sige, jamma paaya sige. Yeah, te sir pank paryo bahu paru. सोच वाय चीर कर मानो तुसी कपड़े नाश ही करते हो everything, they're all covered in mud. And this is where Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, they give blessings. They say to Mataji, nahi, he's not covered in mud or anything, he's not carrying grass on his head. Deen duni ka shattar so diyo, the shattar of the sari, this world and all the other galaxies and so on. See that instead of these crops, or shattar, when you take Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj through something like that. Apurna eh sam jag mein bhi inna de varga hor koi hai nahi samsar pe. This is Guru Angad Dev Ji. They're saying Pank Joan, Tumko Drishtava. You see this mud on this muddy water. Kesar ko hamne shirkawa. Manwe kesar si shirkiya. Apne sevako te. Saffron. Pavasagar Dharan ke man. And they say this to all the Sangat as well. Because this Kavi Ji, they put in quote marks from Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Then Gora kya hai? Nar baho bhudat jai. They say this whole world is like this terrifying ocean where everyone's drowning. Calm, growth, jealousy, and ego. Baho nar ko mala this person, Bhai Lehna Ji, there will be the mala, meaning that boatsman, taking everyone across. He'll be saving everyone. Paar kar hai Pavasagar joy. Re Pavasagar sarnu paar kar. And the moment Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, they do this bhajan to Mata Sulakhani Ji. Mata Sulakhani Ji, they're looking at Guru Angad Dev Ji, then they look at Bhai Lehna Ji. That's exactly what they see. They see this, they have this vision.
Okay.
Yeah, and they see the Kesar as well.
Right.
They're both in Mahan. And Mata Ji, then they go look towards Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj again and they say, Guru kya hai dekhyo? Kya hai prabh dekha? Ke Maharaj, hey Swami Ji, jo tusi kya main wahi dekh liya. Tumri gat, tum lakh ko dekha. Maharaj, nimrata vichar ke Mata Sulakhani Ji कहते हैं, hey Swami Ji, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਜਾਣਦੇ your play your miracles ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਜਾਣਦੇ I don't know ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਖੇਡ ਕੀ ਹੈ and that's exactly what Mataji sees. Yeah. And eventually, so we mentioned the people from, they go to Jwalamukhi, right?
Yeah.
So they come back to Gurpurab side.
Right.
So Bhai Lehna Ji, they're staying at Gurpurab side, they're doing seva of Satguru Sache Paatshah Ji. And the tribals, they come back and they say, Chalo tusi hanu mulao, who's this Guru Nanak that you mentioned of? And they take them towards Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Benti Pakan Kare Agari. Safala Janam Hoyo Ehbari. And this is, you really learn that all these Sangat from Khadur Sahib, Sare Jagyasu Sige. They say, Maharaj tusi kirpa karo to Guru Angad Dev Ji. Sara Janam is safal ho jave. बार बार ऐसी जन्म मरण इतना ना ये सारा काट दो साढ़े वास्ते जे जे करिए कामना जोई वह कामना द संगत हाट पूर्ण करत पए गुरु सतगुरु ने पूरी कर देंगे सीगे they stay the night the संगत Bhai Lehna Ji they stay with Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj they say ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਓ and ਬਹੁਤ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਝੂਠੇ ਭਾਂਜਨ ਮਾਂਜਨ ਕਰੀ ਝੂਠੇ ਭਾਂਡੇ ਮਾਂਜਦੇ ਨੇ ਬਿੰਜਨ ਲੈ ਹਾਂ ਕੀ ਪਾਉਣਾ they find Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj day and night in the hot summer Badni fair, Sagre Pona, Charu fair in the house of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Sadguru Parake, Bastar Pukha, they wash the clothes of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Next then, Seva Kartagura, the whole day, literally the whole day, just Seva, Pele Paatshah Ji. And again, they are A Vichar, then Gyaan, Amen, Chaya, and this is my background. They literally left all of that in the charan of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. And this is their avastha. Mokh Desha Dev, the Rehasadai. Day and night, they're just looking at the Mokh. The face of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. But some of the praying which Magan Hoy. Jab Gun Hani Dehan Rajai. The moment Satguru Maharaj give them an order, Tatshin, Kar Preet Urdari, pray and Ohi Hukam Kar. They've literally lost themselves. Yeah. And Kavi Santokh Singh Ji, amazing. Look, they're speaking to the reader this time, or like the Sangat directly.
Right.
This is what they're saying. They're saying that Mere Valo, Kavi Ji saying, from me, I can't write the prayer that Bhai Lehna Ji have. What example can I give you? And they try and give examples, but they refute those examples as well. They alap patang mregi jani. Then they turn tapachani. You have the example of the moth. So let's say there's a flame. The moth goes around again and again and again. Eventually, in that desire and the love of the flame, it burns. The same way they say you have the day. So back in those days, you have the hunter. They make a sound or a kanda here, and the day they'll listen to it. You get enticed, they wander around, eventually the hunter will hunt it down. So they think this patang is going around and around and around, then eventually it dies in the love of that thing. Same with the day, eventually wandering, then it dies in the love of that sound. But these examples are incomparable compared to Bhai Lehna Ji. Why? Sees den ki hoye je rajai, palak matra kabhi na bilmai. They say if Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj were to give the hukam, कि साढ़े अगे अपना शीश रख दे उदो ही कर देना चाहिए they wouldn't wait like this moth in the day उदो ही कर देना चाहिए and that's Kavi Ji that's talking directly.
That's the relationship between the Guru and the Sikh, how it should be, with Maharaj giving an upadesh, saying or giving a hukam to Bhai Lehna Ji ki aakar khushi khushi naal karte hain, and that's the relationship between the Gursikh and the Guru. If our Gurus have said, get up Amritullah, or khushi not out there, not like people like me that are struggling. Snooze. वो जब alarm बंद करके कोई ना 10 मिनट और पै जाएंगे, but वो खुशी ना उठते हैं, एक चाह होता है ना. And the thing is with this, you have ups and downs, and when you're walking on this path, and I'm not saying we won't have them highs as well. So we've experienced it ourselves as well, where you know a चाह होता है कि मैं अमृतवेली उठे क्योंकि my Guru Sahib have told me to get up Amritwala, so and then my Guru Sahib have told me Simran kar, and then वो चाह दे ना Simran karna, my Guru Sahib have told me to do it, right? And then they go Ishnan karna, वो भी खुशी नाल, like my Guru Sahib have told me to do Ishnan करिए फिर बाणी पढ़िए होना, let's do part out of the happiness, out of that my Guru Sahib have told me to do it. Whatever else, like again, I listen to Katha. Like one of the reasons why it's important that you listen to Katha and you listen to stuff like this is you get that understanding, because especially in today's day and age where a lot of people are starting to you question a lot of everything. You should question everything. Whatever. But if you can build that relationship with Maharaj where if Maharaj tells you to do something and you do it purely out of my Guru Sahib, you have told me to do this.
That's it. Full stop.
I don't care what I'm going to get out of it. I don't care whether I'm going to get blessings out of it, whether I'm going to kirpa hogi या नहीं होगी, all the tension नहीं लेनी. सिर्फ tension है मेरे Guru Sahib ने किया मैंने. Let's do it.
That's it. That's what you learn from this.
That's what you learn from,
Especially Bhai Lehna Ji, Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj history. That's that one thing you take away. And it comes later on. We'll talk about this later on, but it's the opposite. In the world, it's you have to question everything. And you have to put yourself out there and all this stuff. But when it comes to the world, it's opposite.
It's opposite. With logic, everything that would just leave that at the door. If you try and do things according to your mind, then how are you going to make that relationship with the King of Kings, the Jagat Guru, or the Lokhane Malik, and this Guru themselves? How making that relationship would be really, really hard. Then if you start questioning it, if you start questioning certain things, whatever.
That's it. And that's what Gurbani Maharaj was and the moment I came to the Guru Ji Sharana, all these chalakiyaan, all this trying to question this, trying to find logic and so on. I left all of this.
Tension भी फिर ताई होती है था using our logic. The tension we stress about everything, worry about everything. If something doesn't go according to your way, then you get upset, you get sad, depression हो जाता है. Just leave it to Maharaj. कि Maharaj ने मैंने क्या कि अमृतवेले उठो, सिमरन करो, बाणी पढ़ो, केस रखो. Maharaj said keep your case. Maharaj said Amrit Shako. You just do all them things, you'll just see your life changing then. But the mentality has to be there. That's important. The mindset, the mentality has to be there.
That's it. And it's this mindset that Bhai Lehna Ji have.
And that's what you learn from this.
That's it. Whatever my Guru says, it doesn't matter whatever it is. And again, it opens up even more later on. So eventually, Bhai Lehna Ji, they don't say about Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, as we mentioned. 3 years pass by. They don't go, guess it's our course watching. They've literally lost themselves. And Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, वो कहते हैं Bhai Lehna Ji ने 3 वर्ष जब इस विद बीती 3 years पास हुआ लैना सेव करे योत प्रीति बहुत ही प्रेम नाल Bhai Lehna Ji सेवा करते हैं उन्होंने न किया तो शोध लेने कारण आय सदीन नी दाम बदार महाराज they say to them तुसी वापस चल जाओ घर बार दी खबर ले लो go back to Guru Sahib. Bhai Lehna Ji they don't want to go पर हुक्म मानते हैं गुरु जी ने हुक्म किया मैं वही मानना. They go eventually takes them a few days सारे खुश होके मिलते हैं Bhai Lehna Ji ਨੂੰ. They get the whole family, the whole family gets together. Eventually, finally, after 3 years,
a long time,
and children as well, family and everything. But this is the Mandi Avastha of Bhai Lehna Ji. कैसे होए चैन मन मानी? I think मैंने मन खुशी किमें प्राप्त हो without the darshan of my Guru. Chant chakor achit chit chahi. Just as you have the chakor, that bird, stares at the moon all night, Purnamashi. So then try to cook. The same way. Lochan come to the other side. You have that lotus flower. You yearn for the sun to come out. Only then it blossoms. The same way. Bhai Lehna Ji there, Mandi says, again, outside is all happy, but one which I want darshan of Gurmani. I want the darshan. Nain Gurbani war. Let me get these examples, beautiful examples. How kin bad rehna sakom bin pritam. Jo bin amli mar gaya. Maharaj in this Bhagti, they give the example of a drug addict. Now, if you don't give that person their substance, whatever it is, they literally they die. Maharaj इसी तरह हम एक क्षण पर रह ना सको. I can't stay for a single second or a millisecond wrought the darshan of my Pritam. Jinko pyas hoye prabh keri, tin avar na pave, bin har ko duya. Those that have this thirst of the darshan of the Satguru of Parmeshwar Vaheguru, nothing can quench that thirst. Jo marji mure rakh do na, duniya de jere mare sukh rakh do. That's the avastha of Bhai Lehna Ji. They say manu darshan chahiye. And then they only stay for a few a day or so. First chal jande ne, main to nahi rahunga. Yeah. And eventually they go back to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. And Guru Angad Dev Ji होते देखते ने हैरान होके जैसे लेने तोरण ही चला इतने जल्दी मर के आ गया हैं रहन ने किए न क्यों मन बाद में चंगा नहीं लग गया मैं परिवार ने माना and look at this Bhai Lehna Ji जैसे हाथ जोड़ के जो पतंग है डोर अधीन just as you have a kite है ना is a person with a string controls it और इसी तरह तुसी अपने प्रेम नाल मेनू बन के रखिया मारा तो भोंदा नहीं चंगा नहीं लगदा and that's the avastha of Bhai Lehna Ji.
But at the same time, hukum bhi man ja. They did go back.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it. Just because they did the hukum. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Again, it's all you learn from this as well, and like they didn't want to, but Maran hukum kita, and they still went back.
Yeah.
And we were talking about getting up Amritullah, doing Simran, Ishnan, Bani, Badami. Given a man nahi karda, we don't want to.
Yeah.
Amritullah uthna bahut aukha hai.
Bahut.
So I think that's one of the hardest things.
One thing that comes up again.
That's I think you talk to any Gursikh,
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest things that Amritullah uthna. You got them rare that easily get up. Automate the ball punch. But that'll be one thing. Yeah, Amritullah is like a mission. But to Marat get pakari that Marat blessed that with everyone because that's a really big blessing to get up Amritullah, right? That's that time where you full on just focus on doing Bani Simran. But Gyaan the Bala Maharaj is telling you to do something, and yes, we will feel that way where you don't want to do it, but the fact that your Guru Sahib is saying it, you have to kill your mind. Manu maar ke kehndे हैं in Punjabi vich manu maar ke karna penda hai. You just do it. Even if you don't feel like doing it, you still do it. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੈ. Again, listen to Katha. A wicked example was someone questioned again Gurbansi. They said that Nityanim vich main roz ta karna par man tekda nahi hega. It's been so long since I've been doing it. It's been years since I've been doing Nityanim, par fir bhi nahi man tekda mera Nityanim de vich, hai na? And then he goes, "Wah, Sikha." He goes, "You're doing it every day. Man tekda nahi par fir bhi roz kari janda." That's what tap is, isn't it?
That's top, man.
Ki nahi man fir tekda nahi, but you're still doing it. You carry on just doing it. And Maharaj is watching that. Maharaj is watching. Kitna ka karta hai mera Gursikh. So let's see how much he do, how far he does go, and then that one day Maharaj will do that. Kirpa Maharaj chal theek hai.
You see this so many times that you get these Gursikhs. Both some lang janda hai. Bhai Mardana Ji is a very good example actually.
Yeah, wicked example.
Wicked example. But at the end, fir Gyaan baksita. At the end. And again,
Bhai Mardana Ji saying that bakiyan te kirpa kariye na mere te karo.
Minu bhukha rakh de hamesha. But again, that's it. That's exactly what it is.
Their relationship was amazing as well.
Yeah. So this is when eventually we had this one time, okay, thousands of Sangat get together at Gurgaddi side. People from different sectors of Hinduism and Islam as well. Kavi Ji, they say Brahmachari, ke Bagari, Gyani, Tapi, Atit, Digambar, Tyani, Jogi, Pandit, bahut sannyasi, Hindu, Turk, Aghen, Gurpasi, all the different types, different backgrounds, Rai rank, poor and the rich. Jo tar abhilakha, darshan kar rahe hain, so pure hai kakha. And all these people, bas darshan karke, jo man di ichha si, puri ho jandi. But eventually what happens is there's this big storm. So it rains for one day, the whole day. Then rains for 2 days, 3 days. The whole day, these 3 days pass, it's completely raining and stormy. Which eventually what happens is there's no food because of that. They're unable to and everyone's hungry. Bhojan karan nahi available. Bhojan nahi mila kisi nu. Bhukhi bahut pai sab log. Everyone's bhukh vich dukhi hoye. And that's when Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, they look at the eldest son, Baba Siri Chand. तो एक तार किक करके वहर जो ठंडी सीधा किकर दा दरख्त हो गया चढ़ ऊपर चून हो गया है गाड़े चंगी तरह नु चढ़ के ना टाणियां फर के अनेक प्रकार आहार सुगरी शेख अनेक प्रकार का भोजन डिगूगा संगत खाए शुदा को हरी the संगत will eat all the संगत thousands of संगत they'll eat and उन्हां दी भुख दूर हो जाई and Baba Siri Chand ji ओदा देख के they look at the tree they see it's just kicker just like thorny leaves then they look at Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj and they say Biptan sang asakin alayo, avlokyo naha kis sunayo. ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਦਰਖਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਭੋਜਨ ਲਾਇਆ ਨਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਭੋਜਨ ਦੱਸਦਾ and even if you're going to use your Karam Mahatma says Siddh Muni Arjay Avatar ਕਿਨੂੰ ਅਸਨੈ ਬਚਨ ਉਚਾਰਿਆ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਵੀ ਪਹਿਲੋਂ ਸਿੱਧ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਰਿਸ਼ੀ ਮੁਨੀ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਅਵਤਾਰ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਬਚਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ there will be a poison from a tree ਮਾਰ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਰ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਦੋ I don't know what game you're playing. Then they ask their youngest son, Baba Lakshmi Das, they get the same response. ਕੀ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਇਹ ਕੁਛ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ. Then they say to Bhai Lehna Ji, ਚਲੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੜੋ ਅਤੇ ਹਲਾ Bhai Ji straight away ਸੁਣ ਕਰ ਤਨ ਪਰ ਪਟ ਨਾ ਸਵਾਰ they don't care about the clothes or anything. ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਤੋਰਨ ਇੱਕ ਸਿੱਧਾ they quickly run up. The Sangat is all watching. The Sangat is watching like ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ. ਗਹਿ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਂਡ ਸਜੋਰ ਹਿਲਾਏ ਜੋਰ ਨਾਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ. ਗਿਰਤ ਪਿਕੇ ਭੋਜਨ ਬਹੁ ਪਾਏ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਅਨੇਕ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ why we can imagine falls from that tree. And at the time Sangat ਇੰਨੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸੀਗੀ they say there was 24,000 at that time. ਬਿਨਸਤ 74,000 ਹੋਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਭ ਤ੍ਰਿਪਤ ਆਏ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਹਰ and again there was enough ਭੋਜਨ falling from that tree that was able to feed all the Sangat. And by Veer Singh Ji then pull a footnote here saying ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਸ਼ੰਕਾ ਨਾ ਕਰਿਓ that there was this much Sangat at the time of Guru Angad Dev Ji. They said example is if you look at the darbars of Sant Attar Singh Ji, Baba Khem Singh Ji, ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਭੀੜ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੁਛ just to get rid of that doubt.
That makes sense though.
100%.
Thousands used to come to see Sant Attar Singh.
Literally,
I've heard that thousands and thousands. So why wouldn't there be thousands and thousands with Guru Sahib?
100%. ਇਹ ਸ਼ੰਕਾ ਨਾ ਕਰਿਓ. And this is why Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj ਉਹ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਪਰਖਣ ਮੰਟਾਣੇ now's the time to test the Sikhi of my Gursikhs. Now's the time. Okay, so this is the first test they give all the Gursikhs now. This is what they say to all the Gursikhs. There's thousands at that time. एक समय निस दिन में हुई. They say on langar, the langar will be only distributed once during the whole day. You only get to eat once. सब सिखन सो बचन उचारा अब langar बाहु सुख गारा. Now the rest of the day ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖੇਤਾਂ 'ਚ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਖੇਤਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ and you only want to get to eat once. I remember no tractors or anything. It's a hardcore kitty, like labor, intensive labor. And the Sikh, there's some of the Gursikhs, they start thinking this quite a lot of them. जब देखी सिखन अस चले तो वह निज सदन संभाल. They're like, what's the point? I might as well do my own kitty and actually get food. Rather than some thousands leave. But some they would try. के तक चतर पंच दिन रहे करी करे तो कच भूख नहीं रहे. They say, okay, no, Maharaj ne hukum kita, we're going to do this. Like us, we're trying to do. But again, maximum they're able to do for 4-5 days. All karke they have to leave.
If I'll be truthful, I was about to say that the first lot of the one that got off. I was going to say that that's probably me, But if I'll be truthful, I'll put it as a second.
I'll 100%
I'll try.
You try. Come on, try kariye.
I'll try karenge. I know that child's going to go after a bit. Like, this is hard.
And it's not even the child. It's like a pok kanal, sade pe go say. Pok, and you have to work intensively on top of that as well. So half the Sangat leaves. Okay, ardha ke gaye, ardha jab rahe, half are left. Sabun sunai Prabhu bach gaye. Then Guru Maharaj they change the rule. They say this. Dutiya Devs asan ko kariye, bhav khet sankat par hariye. Now you're going to get food every other day. So for example, today you get food once. Tomorrow you're going to get no food, and that repeats. That's
so now the test. Now it's gone more. It's gone another level now.
They change the rule. And a lot of Sanghas start leaving.
Why just filtering through them?
Filtering through, that's what it is. And a lot of Sanghas go get nahi. Those are 4-5 days and that's then all we get now. But there's a rare few Gursikhs that stay. Unandi mandi was the air. And maranatar or a bad case or joy na kaboo kaise. They say asi man vich maranatar pya. I'd rather die here.
Gursikh again.
Quite a lot as well. But even then they somehow get filtered out as well. ਅਸੀਂ ਮਰਨਾ ਹੀ ਮੰਨਦੇ okay ਅਦ ਸ਼ੁੱਧਤਾ ਪੁਨਕ੍ਰਿਤ ਕਮਾਵਨੇ ਇਨ ਹੰਗਾ we have to do this ਸੇਵਾ ਨਾ ਸੋ ਦੁਰਪਲਾਏ ਨਾ ਸਤਨਸਤਾ ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ this is their ਮੰਨਦੇ ਬਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਰਨਾ ਹੀ ਮੰਨਦੇ. Eventually they do this and after so many days there's so many crops so much crop yield sagre divs karen krek kaari all the Gursikhs they do farming ਖੇਤੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ the whole day ਭਏ ਖੇਤ ਹਰੀਆਵਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਹਰੀਆਵਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ. Eventually Guru Maharaj they say okay ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਸ ਕਰ ਲਓ Stop planting, you can cut the crops now. Cut them, put them, kathe kar lo. Satguru kahe, baad sab leech, baad lo sara kuch. Nahe gago, khalwaade ki, put them all, kathe kar do, put them in sacks and everything. The Sikhs do so. Oh, caution them to find this over now. They cut everything. Kari ekakhi, krek sari ekakhi kar dene. And Maharaj, as the Gursikhs are cutting, Maharaj is seeing all these crops, and बहुत खुश होते हैं Maharaj. And they're saying this as a show, है ना. हर के एक दिन है सुख सदन साध साध पुत्री और सब श्री पदन. मारे शाबाश शाबाश बहुत उसी बड़ी सेवा की थी. शाबाश जुंगे रहो. Then this is what Maharaj is saying. Eventually, all these crops are together. Yeah? Imagine this whole house full of crops as well. They say this to all the Gursikhs. And I heard this last time in Bo Hassan. I've not heard this part of the house before. Then Lija Park Fuk Hosari.
So just say all the fire.
Yeah, Fuk do. Or large go, they hold that. Like, get rid of any large yapana. Burn all of it.
Any brain to keep okay there, okay?
I know.
Staying hungry. And now Maharaj is bad.
Yeah, and this is the Gursikhs' reaction. I'll be saying the same. But it's all so keen. Inni jo nasi kamai ki thi. Yeah. Pratapari, bahut sankat bhai, bahut hi okay, we get food once a day. Over these 2 days as well. They fuki jaye na kahin saath to nahi hota Maharaj. Inni mehnat se we see this crop, we see our effort, we see our blood, sweat and tears, na. Yeah. Hatak rahe ki tak kya hai ye picture hai Maharaj, I don't want to do this upon that. But again, they have to drag Gursikhs. There's also the कि हान लाभ चाहिए नहीं देख सामने देखना नहीं चाहता हान की या what's the नुकसान what's the लाभ आया समान है यही बचेगा जो हुक्म है कैसे कर देना and eventually वो फूक देते हैं सारा कुछ
so a few
yeah वो फूक देते and again everyone's shocked they're like इस बेद because सब देखना सारे what is Maharaj doing गुरु की गात कच्छ जाए ना जान जानो उसी जान दे Maharaj दी गाती ना वो आप ही जानते so Maharaj the next has come नामा को तक Maharaj रखते हैं just out of nowhere, ek din shura band cut sanga. Maharaj they get the shura like a blade of shastra, cut not band with their waist. Tanak roop tarius Bunga. They look like a hunter. Yeah, both a very scary form. Anek shokri agge gi Maharaj they have wild boars, na cook kar ke tek pechari line hunting dogs with them all around them. Maharaj yeah. Porte next where pe thande all the Gursikhs are remaining. There is look at Maharaj out of nowhere. Second they bismillah baate na aage ho gaya. Some run away. Yeah. Rahina Sharda. Sharda ona in dol gaya. Adhe ka tola. So they describe like this. Just like imagine this actually happening, and you can understand. Your born is over jo better phala. Just as Punjab jo nehri hundi hai, massive wind, all the trees are short straight. The same way ona Sharda dol gayi. Dekh ke na usko na Guru Angad Dev Ji majende age si makta ki dare darshan kar dare, and hum saadi ichha puri kar dare. All of a sudden they just
this loop. Yeah.
Dogs everywhere. Yeah. And they say Guru Maharaj is going crazy. This is what the Gursikhs say. Shri Guru to ab pahe divane ho. Going crazy. Karan ko karan. Je asman tha. Ye krur swarup na dekhya jata. Dekhya nahi janta. Swarup. Sookar, kookar, all these dogs, these boars. Yeah. Nij sang like. And all of them run away. All of them. Right. Bhai Lehna Ji. And this is what Bhai Lehna Ji. Ek lehne nahi tare ho sakta. Half chor ki kehande ne. Bhai Lehna Ji, two Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj amongst all these dogs walking. एक मैं रहे हो ना जाओ ना कभी सो जाओ ना कभी मैं कदे नहीं जाऊंगा देखो कसौटी सह हो सभी whatever test you put in front of me ना मैंने पता ये पाख दे तुसी मैं सह लेनी है तान मन बेच मैं ताड़े आगे I given my mind my body everything to you I've literally sold everything to you and they say what have I sold it for प्रेम ली मोला प्रेम वास मेरा प्रेम पाया in exchange तद हो के हनो मोल को गोला look at this they say Mario cho, you can either kill me, mor dije mari menu maar do, o or paave to rakh jiwari, o menu rakh lo, apna bana lo. Now why do they say this? Tumre hit bin saitana muiro, bade paag mene tab jero Maharaj, if I die from your hand na, mere bahut hi badi paag. Je menu rakh lo, o bhi bade paag. This is their avastha. And Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, they're still in this form. They're this like, this play that they're, rache dine. Guru Maharaj ne tha na bhaiya hamre nere bhaj jaye to sade nere na rahe bhaje jao na aao mor ke na aate onu hukam mande they should go away okay finally ji ka hukam mane 7 baje and see Maharaj that's it unhone jaane ke hukam and finally what they do is they go towards the Gursikhs which run away and they pump them up the Gursikhs finally ji Shri Parmeshwar ko bata wo baar idhar hunde ne ke bhai this is permission avta tusi ki bhul gaye ha अपना लखो सुमो खुदारे मुक्ति दाते ने तुसी एमी भजी जांदे you guys have you forgotten ना सारा नरन के परखन हेता ठटियो सांग वेदी कोल केता कि महाराज ने ये सांग बनाया हुआ this is that kid
that's the signs of a Gursikh Mahapurkh that that joined you with the Guru these are the signs for it
then this is just a खेल that उन्होंने बनाया हुआ रचा हुआ Abje Shri Gur Et Dishab. They say when Guru Nanak Ji come this way, if they come this way with their dogs and their bows and with their and everything, weapons and so on. Or sang kar kya dikh raha. If they do another kautak, parmona hai. Kaisi bit hoy. What happens? Asi patnani. They tend the Gursikhs, Bhai Lehna Ji. Cease jai, jawan ki ho do. Even if our head goes, asi borna. Yeah, this is them saying to the Gursikhs.
That's a sign of a leader as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the signs are showing there.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And eventually that's what happens. The Gursikhs are okay, tiga. They stand there like, we're going to stay no matter what.
Yeah.
We've gone through all these tests and we can stay one last one.
Yeah.
And Guru Angad Dev Ji make their way with their dogs and their bows and with a scary form towards his Gursikhs.
Yeah.
And they say to the Gursikh, every Gursikh that would come towards Guru Angad Dev Ji, उन्होंने पूछते हैं, क्यों बैठे? तुम कौन हो? तू कौन है? वो कहते, they answer, हमारा मैं फलाना नाम आया, मैं इथों आया. And the moment they say, जब ऐसे को नाम सो ले, कुत का एक पीठ में दे, मारो वाह Gursikh. With a sota.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
I was laughing. I was just thinking, because I was listening to this when I was on the bus, and I was like, just imagine you must 30.
Go one back.
Yeah. Literally. But ये भी सोच के देख लो, जे मारा ने मारा, किन्ने जन्म मन दे दुख कटे होंगे.
Yeah.
ये भी देख सोचना है. And just the Gursikhs must 30. They just whacked them. जोर दिया as well. Yeah. The Gursikhs run away. Yeah. कब के सिख बने हैं वो मारे उन्होंने पूछे तू को तो सारा सिख बने हुआ.
Yeah.
And when the Gursikh would give an answer, they would die. Na lao ho dere. They'd say that. And Maharaj walked away. Yeah. एक खेल सी महाराज जी. And all the Gursikhs they get scared. ये नहीं सब तो सही. This is too much.
Yeah.
कहते कंपेयर बच्चन आ गए. Again, Maharaj they would ask a question. And the Gursikhs they don't want to answer now. If I say something, they're gonna whack me. Okay, ऐसी बच्चन आ गए क्या नहीं करना. तेज दीप्त सोसाई न जाए तेज महाराज का प्रकाश धान गुरु ग्राह करता है ना. सब तो देखा नहीं जाता. सुनो प्रभु कौन कुत का मारा है. Whenever Maharaj hear anything from the Gursikh, जोर दी मार देते. भाग्य Sikh, not even the Sikhs they run away. They can't. This is too much. कुत का लगा होए तान पी again. Every time Maharaj would hit them, and then he sort थोड़ी मार देते. तान पी बहुत दुख लगता है. जोरना. Yeah. टिकते भाग्य हो जाती है and they all run away. And again, there's one left. So there's a handful left actually. Handful of Gursikhs left. And this is what Guru Angad Dev Ji say to them. There's only a few Gursikhs. They say, "Je tum Sikh bane hai more, if you my Gursikh, aayas mano, deho na dere. Mera hukam mano. I'm going to give you a hukum, tusi mano. Ut aao some more jar mere piche aa do." So Maharaj they saw walking and the Gursikh piche na come ke I don't know what Maharaj is going to do. And then they keep on walking behind. Again, you have to remember, you have all these dogs around barking and everything. You have these wild boars as well. And Maharaj, they say, Taha siri par shab ek dekha. You see that chikha over there, that pyre over there? There's a corpse over there. Upar ambar setu shekha is covered in white cloth. And this is what they say to all the Gursikhs. Je tum thande raho eh thana, shab ko khao bilam karana. Nahi ta jao sadan ko tai, do main karo, je ek man pai. You can do one of two things. Nahi ta bhajo apne karano, or eat that corpse. So the Gursikh. Only one of two things. Now the Gursikhs then this, in the middle. हम हैं Sikh ना गम नहीं था हमें ऐसे गुरुजी Sikh we're going to stay I'm not going to go home but they say मारियो खुद का सुन Sikh ना हो मारा सनु वार डंडे मारी जाते every time we speak and I don't want to go and eat this corpse and all those Gursikhs that didn't run away home मारा saw hitting them again they get that डंडा मार देने and this is what they say कुट्टन हमरे Sikh का अच्छा you call yourself Gursikhs ना fake Gursikhs ना बच्चे ने कहा होगा सोना को जो मैं कहता हूँ सी मान देने I said either eat the corpse or go home.
Fake Sikhs.
Yeah, that's what they say. Maharaj.
I think we might fall into that category.
Yeah, I would run away ages ago, man. But anyways, then eventually all the Gursikhs, Maharaj ne hum bachchan manna banayak. If you might go say then chalo bhaji. All the Gursikhs run away eventually. There's only one left. It's Bhai Lehna Ji. One Maharaj kut ke lagi. Bhagya sab karta raha. So again, Maharaj keep on whacking the Gursikhs. They all run away. Rahiyo na kau santab ek lehna reh paas. Ek Bhai Lehna Ji reh gaye. And they focus their attention towards Bhai Lehna Ji. Guru kahe, kyun lie there? They're like, tu kyun time lie there? I said, either run away or eat the corpse. And this is Bhai Lehna Ji's response. Je desh hukum karo, teh khamo, is rajai, hit bilam lagam. The reason I'm waiting, Maharaj, is because you never told me where should I start from. Khamo, like, to eat the corpse. And I want to eat it, but you're not telling me where to start. Then Guru Maharaj ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਕਹੇ ਪੱਗ ਤੇ ਲੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ stop from the feet and make your way up ਸਿਰ ਲਾਓ ਖਾਓ ਬਚਨ ਕੋ ਸਾਰਾ ਬਚਨ ਮਾਨੋ stop from the feet then eat all the way towards the head a dead body think about that ਤੇ ਚੀਮ ਲੈਣੇ again shin mata the moment Maharaj said stop from the feet they run towards the corpse eyes ansari matman they saw unraveling that white cloth and what did they see ਸੇਤ ਸੋ ਬਸਤਰ ਉਤਾਰਾ ਜਬ ਹੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਬਸਤਰ ਉਤਾਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਦੇਖਿਓ ਸਰਬ ਤੇ ਹਾਵਲ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੀ ਖਰਾਬ ਛੱਤ ਦੀ ਦੇਖ and look around and that's when Guru Maharaj they get rid of this you know the roof and they go back to you know their typical self and they say to Bhai Lehna Ji ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਚ ਇਹੋ ਜੋ ਮੇਰੋ ਇਹ ਸਰੂਪਾ ਸੋ ਤੁਮ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਪਰਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਰੂਪ ਹੈਗਾ ਯਾਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਅੰਤਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਭਾਵ ਲੰਬ ਭਲੇ ਜਗਾ ਤਾਰਨਾ ਦੇ ਸਹੀ with your support ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਜਗ ਤਰ ਜੂਗਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਵਰਗੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਭ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਜਮ ਜਾਣ ਵਾਲ you be the one saving my Gursikhs as well तुझे समान अपर न लखियो तेरे वर्ग में कोई देखा ही नहीं कोई है ही नहीं ना होगा नीके सिखी बीरज रखियो you save this plant of Gursikh you be the one planting it and looking after it that's why Guru Maharaj
so you know this part of the Itihas with this massive test that Guru Sahib you do to show all the Sikh right one thing I'm taking away from this is when you had 24,000 ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਰਤਾਂ ਸੀ you know the ones that ran away ਪਹਿਲਾਂ like straight away that now it's not only a guy now we won't be able to handle just one food one time a day when they were there because they did have a little bit shadda in them they had a little bit of faith in them right and then slowly you've got down to Bhai Lehna Ji Bhai Lehna Ji chalo the Guru Sahib Ji but even the handful of Gursikhs that were right towards the end I'm just thinking that whole you had the ones that were right at the beginning of this whole test 24,000 on the man which Sharda si and you had the handful of Gursikhs on the man which we Sharda si yes their Sharda might have been stronger but the point I'm trying to make is that everyone's on a different level in it when it comes to Sikhi no one's going to be on the same level but the one thing that we should try and do is grow that Sharda to make it stronger where we can get to that level then
and again this was the blessing Guru Angad Dev Ji gave the one Gursikh that passed it he said those jere dol gਏ ਸੀ you be the one saving them ਇਹ ਨਾ ਸੋਚੋ ਕਿ oh okay no I'm not like this Gursikh I can't be like them because eventually Maharaj ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਵਿਧੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ that's one of these things is that saying that Maharaj I've come to your sharan ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੰਕਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤਰਨਾ ਹੀ ਕਰਨਾ I'm yours ਨਾ ਬੁਰੇ ਭਲੇ ਹਮ ਸਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੁਰੇ ਆ ਪਾਪੀ ਪਰ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ
you remind me of Baba Nan Singh Ji bachan Baba Nan Singh Klelani ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਚਨ ਸੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ you should do Gursikh does ਅਰਦਾਸ every day ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਬਣਾ ਲਓ make me yours and when first time I read that bachan you know I saw and up until that time I read that or heard about that bachan it never came across my mind we do ardas for all other things like worldly things like all day long or every day Maharaj de do and then when it comes to Sikhi as well you say Maharaj Sikhi di daat baksho naam di daat baksho but just simple as make me yours
that those few words have everything
everything Maharaj menu apna bana lo when you start saying that and you say it with prem sharda you know you don't know what going to happen then
that's everything ਜਦੋਂ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ everything you can imagine ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਰਹਿ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ so eventually the Gursikhs they realize Bhai Lehna Ji the Param Gursikh they sing the praise of Bhai Lehna Ji Shri Lehne par kripa ਸਵਾਈ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਅਨਮਨ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਰੇ ਲਖੇ whatever they say ਆਪਣੋ ਤਾਕਤ ਦੇ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜਾਏ what you can do they're saying they're having this conversation among themselves and saying you can tell that Guru Angad Dev Ji they're going to give their ਤਾਕਤ to Bhai Lehna Ji ਇਹ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਪਰਖੀ ਜਬ ਹੈ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਪਰਖੀ ਆ ਨਿਸ਼ਚਲ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਸਰਬ ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਆਪ everyone is Bhai Lehna Ji ਤਾਂ ਨਿਸ਼ਚਲ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ and eventually you know these conversations they make their way to Bhai Mata Sulakhani Ji the wife of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj she hears ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਚਿੰਤਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ as any mother would they go to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj and they say as ਗੁਣਕਾਰ ਸੁਤਨ ਕੋ ਤਿਆਗਾ we have these two beautiful children ਬਾਬਾ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਚੰਦ ਜੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਲਖਮੀ ਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਗੁਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਦਾਸ ਨੂੰ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਰੱਖ ਲਿਆ ਅਫੈਰ ਦਿਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਦਾਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਚੰਗੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੰਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਿਤਾ ਦੀ ਵਸਤੂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੁੱਤ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ that's what Mata Ji saying to Guru Angad Dev Ji Guru Maharaj have no response. So this is happening in that time.
Yeah.
The Sangat there, Mataji's there, Maharaj have no response, stop praying. Eventually what happens is there's a cat just hunted a mouse and makes its way to that little beard.
Yeah.
The Gursikhs, they scare the cat away. Sikh ne darai, peh kar bhagi, or dara dende ne. But Mughal pari rahi pe aagi. That mouse that was in the mouth of the mouse, the cat, it drops it there. Half eaten mouse,
right,
with his guts out and everything. Then Maharaj, they're looking at Mata Sulakhani Ji and they look at the mouse. Kripa ne daan jab chak dekhi, karan Sulakhani nisha vashiki. And Mata Sulakhani Ji di tasalli vaste unhone ek kiya. They say to Baba Sri Chand Ji. Sri Chand so gira bola, Mughal pari na pale ta. This dead mouse changa nahi lagda. Sangat de charna vich paya. Na chak ke rakh set do. Sangat vich sobda nahi. Niज कर संग उचाए ले जाओ बाहर दर गिरो ना बाहर के set do. Baba Sri Chand Ji, at this point, it's not about picking up a dead mouse because that commonly happens in Pujao. God hai ki hukum manandi. So Baba Sri Chand, they're also hearing all this that Guru Angad Dev Ji, they're going to give Bhai Lehna Ji this Gurgaddi, and then this state of mind. And this is what they say directly to their Pitaji, Guru Nanak Sache Paatshah. Sukkar kukkar nij sang वह फिर सबको दिख रहा है कदे तुसी अपने आप कुत्ते रख लेंदे या these hunting dogs कदे you get these wild boars with you ना कदे तुसी कहंदे मुर्दा खा रहा है इनकार क्या दयो ते हावल से कदे तुसी ओ मुर्दे नु क्रॉप शा बना देंदे हैं जो ऐसो छल बहोरो ए जिस छल तुसी करी जांदे आ मुझ पे लोग ने चाहे ना को मैंने चंगा नहीं लगदा all these dramas you play ना होना उचाहो मेरे तो गाना गोना pick up this marks I've had enough why that's Baba Sri Chand then Guru Maharaj they ask the youngest son, Lakshmi Dasi. They say, नहीं, आसो ना, तब बोलियो, so सुनिए ताता. हमको उचित ना ऐसे, हमें चंगा नहीं लगता. हम यों से youngest son, you make tell me to pick up this dead mouse, ना, got blood everywhere. मेरे तक मुख की हाथ ना, मैं हाथ नहीं लगा. अच्छा सोना से do. And then Guru Maharaj they look at Bhai Lehna Ji, and this is how they speak to Bhai Lehna Ji. क्या और वो तू ही करतार प्यारे, ये करतार दे प्यारे, परमेश्वर दे प्यारे, मुख कचाए, वहर दे उड़ाले, इन्हों तुसी चक लो. Adho bachan sun tatkal. They just hear half of the bachan, Guru Angad Dev Ji said. They get up straight away, pick up the mouse, set it in there. And that's when Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj had Sangat nu kende ne. And this is what we can really take away from this. This is towards the Sangat and Mata Sulakhani. Yes tarni mein hoye nivanna. Tehe jal jaabhe, tike mahanna. Ibba jahan uchera hui, tehe jal boon tike nahi hui. You have water, it only collects in low places. You'll only see a lake, where there's a deep, low ground and so on. You never see water collecting at the tip of a mountain. इसी तरह गुरु घर दे विच in my house, in my sharan, जिन्हां को निम्रता है ना, वही सार को कुछ नहीं. It's a whole opposite. In the dunya, you have to put yourself out there, you have to put yourself forward. But इत्थे, you have to put yourself low. उन्हां नु वे वस्तु प्राप्त होती है. And that's the importance of निम्रता. Guru Maharaj, संगत नु सारे सुनाते हैं. Then the second is midnight. Everyone's sleeping. Sadhguru Maharaj, again, this is just to give that tasalli to everyone.
Now is about tasalli, isn't it? Now it's just to give that reassurance to all the Gursikhs, all the Sikh Sangat, that because they've been declared that they're going to be the next Guru. But it's to give that reassurance to their Sikhs. What's going to happen next?
So these tests that Maharaj are doing, you have this first phase where they test all the Gursikhs. Now is that tasalli, as he said. So they say to Baba Sri Chand Ji, and this is midnight, Unu uthal dene, Baba Ji nu. They say, take these sheets, wash them and dry them as well. And Baba Ji, they say, Ham Shramat Karante, Maharaj, I'm tired, I'm resting. Minuna go. Basur Hoa, one is the day, pray to get a sevak to do it. Adhiradno Kyo Raya. Now me tukra, now hold kesi tukra. Let us sleep. Hamte Yah Krit Hoina, Satuni Hunda. Then they wake up the youngest son. Baba Lakshmi Dasi, they say, at this time, and you want us to dry the chadar, then Guru Maharaj, they go to Bhai Lehna Ji. Jab lehne prat sad Gurpurab kha, ham chadar purkha to lagde, ye purkha, ye chadar to de, and dry it as well. Tab he uthio lehna Gurpurab kha, udo hi uthne. Sar mein ja pat to lagde, they go and wash in the river. So they wash the chadars and everything. Then they're thinking, how am I going to dry these chadars? It's midnight, there's no sun. And something amazing happens during the night. Basur ard paan khen partu. Lak lehne man ashchar samdur. The sun comes up in the midnight. And again, it's not just a small amount of radiance. They say, just in the afternoon, you have this scorching hot sun. The sun just randomly comes up. Bhai Lehna Ji, and they dry the sheets. And they go back to Sadhguru Sachdev Paatshah. And Guru Maharaj, they look at Bhai Lehna Ji in confusion, Jaan ke. Kitak nisa thi pat to one. How on earth were you during the night able to wash and dry the chadars? Because they put the chadar when it's all dried. And Bhai Lehna Ji half story कहते हैं तेरी गत तू जान बखाने वाला तुसी जानते हैं ताड़ी गत तुसी आप रचिया मैं जानता तुसी आप ही जानते. And again Guru Maharaj संगत ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ. Again this is that ਤਸੱਲੀ every test they do this time. ਸੰਗਤ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕਹੇ ਜੋ ਵਸਤੂ ਹੈ ਭਾਗ ਜਿਸੇ ਕੇ ਸੋ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਭਾਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਵਸਤੂ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਮੰਨੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਗੁਰਤ ਅਗਰ ਦੀ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਭਾਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਕੋਟਕ ਰਤਨ ਕਮਾਏ ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰ ਲੋ ਡੂ ਵਾਟ ਵੀ ਵਾਂਟ ਭਾਗਾ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਇਹ ਵਸਤੂ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ. ਮਨ we know right at the beginning when Bhai Lehna Ji came on that ਘੋੜੀ Guru Angad Dev Ji got up said ਸਾਡਾ ਸੇਵਕ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਰਾਜ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ he's going to be the heir to this world again Maharaj ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਭਾਗਾਂ 'ਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨਣਾ. Then we have another concept as well. Again, this is the Sandi. So Maharaj, they have this panda made out of kansi, which is bronze, like a golden looking. And what they do is they throw it in this massive chikkar, this massive dirty pond. Kahan par basan leen kar panna, jhoot neer kardam gambira. They have made dar yo guni na dar the second. And again they go to Baba Siri Sandi first. सोने का आसान हो भाई ना काट दो and wash it as well. जल है पखार स्वाश करता है wash it and काट लो and give it back to me. And Baba Siri Sandi they say मारे मैं महंगे कपड़े पाए हुए हैं they get dirty and so on. And they say दास सिख आगे वो मेरे भी सिख हैगे यार मेरे भी दास हैगे मैं उन्हां ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦਾ मान है बच्चन ना करेंगे ओ बच्चन मान लोगे मेरा बच्चन और they won't take any time as well. आज से देव ने कहा से नाले काट लोगे हम दे दोगे. And this is a key phrase it comes up again with Baba Lakshmi Das. They say मैं काट दूं महिमा काट होगी if I do it मेरी महिमा काट दोगी. People see me as lower as lowly. Then they ask Baba Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, they ask Baba Lakshmi Das, they say take it out wash it and they say Peta Ji hey father तुम हो अध्यक्ष हैं तुम बहुत ही सियाने हो मन ਦਾ काम हम पे करवाए पर फिर भी ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਮਾਰੇ ਜਗਾ ਮੈਥੋਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋ what ਸਭ ਲੋਕ का ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਘਟਾਓ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਹਿਮਾ ਘਟ ਜਾਊਗੀ you can make me do this make one of your servants do this and this thing that if I do it ਮੇਰੀ ਮਹਿਮਾ ਘਟ ਜਾਊਗੀ. Then we'll see Bhai Lehna Ji they go to Bhai Lehna Ji ਉਦੋਂ ਹੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਾਂਦੇ jump in that massive chikkar and they're coming out ਪੰਕ ਸੰਗ ਭਟ ਪੈ ਮੀਨਾ their hands are closed everything there's all mud everywhere ਅੰਗਨ ਲੱਗਿਓ ਜਾਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀਣਾ to the point where it's so muddy that you can't even tell who it was. It was like that and it was covered. And look at this sarve lok bismata thani everyone saying dhan keh ke tumar dhan Bhai Lehna. So look ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਮਹਿਮਾ ਘਟ ਜੂਗੀ if you do it ਮਾਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਦੀ ਮਹਿਮਾ ਵਧ ਗਈ ਸੀ. and again it's that thing that it's the opposite over there ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਿਮਰਤਾ ਨਾਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਨੀਵੇਂ ਹੋ ਉਨੀ ਉੱਚੀ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ.
So with you know all the tests that happen, so there's sometimes like different versions to the Bihas. One of the versions I've heard is that when the test would happen, certain individuals would try and stop Bhai Lehna Ji as well.
All right, okay.
So when they would, so for example, shaking the tree, saying that's not going to happen. If you was, like you said, first time I ever heard of that happening, right? That's not going to happen. You know, the food's not going to fall out of the tree. But one of the responses that I've heard in this version was that Bhai Lehna Ji say that whether it happens or not, that's not meri tension nahi hai.
That's it, yeah.
Mare ne hukum kita kar, so I'm going to do it. So coming back to that, examples where we sometimes start looking for, if I do this much similar, and if I do part, I'll get ananda, or I'll get kripa ho jugi, or something like that. But Mare ne hukum kita kar, whatever happens after that is up to Maharaj, isn't it? Yeah. Whether it happens or not is not. So in that same way, even like when that a test of washing the clothes, drying it, how the sun come out is like in by Lehna Manavich that whether the sun comes out or not, or maybe tension nahi hai whether how we're going to dry it, or maybe what the Maharaj tension so again is that relationship you try and make this one massive learning that you take from Bhai Lehna Ji Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj Ittihas is that building that unquestionable not that connection with Maharaj that we shouldn't
like we're learning about Guruji's Ittihas, which is like amazing in of itself, absolutely amazing. But if you're going to take something away, which is of course the Ittihas as well, but is this hukam manne hoya praman aap khasma kaam hai si jinna ne hukam manne wahi praman hoya is only them.
And what you like we said at the beginning as well, na je thonu okha lagda hai that oh no I'm not going to man nahi takda ida nahi hunda forget all that. Seriously just forget all that. ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਲੱਭੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ Maharaj ne mainu kehta, listen to it.
Yeah.
Listen to it. Maharaj ne, my guru has said, you know, that if I bet if you know in the day form Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj said that was Amrit will yeah, let's do it. Maharaj is something to do it. And but Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj speak to us every day.
That's it.
Yeah.
When we mentioned this in the previous one with Arthur Pash is Shartak hoye so sab kish le jana ko shartak unhone sara kuch liya hoya shartak those are don't have that question.
Yeah.
So even again this is the tasalli, remember. So even Baba Buddha Ji, the Gursikhs are thinking Baba Buddha Ji ne mahan Gursikh brahmgyani Gursikh hai na शायद उन्होंने शायद गुरता का दी देंगे पर बाबा बुरी जो भी खेल जानते हैं वो सारा कुछ जानते हैं.
One version I've also heard was when the corpse test when happened that they were there as well. Baba Buddha Ji were there present. Baba Buddha Ji and I'm not sure, I forgot what the Gursikhs names were now, but they were present there when Guru Sahib Ji said eat the corpse. They jumped behind a bush.
I've seen pictures where they're hiding behind a bush.
They hid behind a bush. Said no, we're not gonna, we can't do that. Forget that. But no, that was the connection relationship they had though with Maharaj, wasn't it?
Yeah. And this is a khel. Baba Buddha Ji, wo bhi sara jante hain. So what Bale Pasha do is they ask Baba Buddha Ji directly, what's the time? And again, it's midnight as well. Baba Buddha Ji matha tekne Satguru and Satguru Ji bahar they look around and they see the stars and everything like, hey Satguru Maharaj, it's midnight. Guru Maharaj they say, Guru Angad Dev Ji, nahi sanu Amrit Vela lagda hai. Check again. Baba Buddha Ji and Satguru Ji, they go outside, they look around. Maharaj, according to what I see, it's Amrit Vela. Maharaj said one last time. Sanu Amrit Vela, check again. Again, check again. Then Maharaj they matha tekne more. Satguru Ji, according to what I see, it's midnight. So Satguru Ji, Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj say to Bhai Lehna Ji, Lehna Ji, see dekho, what's the time? Bhai Lehna Ji go outside, they see it's midnight. They say Satguru Maharaj, it's midnight. Guru Angad Dev Ji, they say, nahi sound lagda, Amrit Vela. Check again. Bhai Lehna Ji saw thinking, जो महाराज ने क्या वही है मेरे जैसे वो भाई
Amrit Vela.
That's it. हुक्म तो मान्या बाबा जी ने, बाबा बुढ़ा साहब जी ने. But again, it's the wasta mandi wasta. So Bhai Lehna Ji they say, they're thinking that okay, Guru Maharaj they said it Amrit Vela, then I don't know what that cave is. Oh, Nimrat कर जाके कहते हैं problem, मामा नैन होते हैं ऐसा. Maharaj is midnight, my eyes are droopy. ना पूल कहे मैं आधी ना पूल के कहता आधी रात होगी माफ कर दियो. It's not even that they saw it at midnight. It's like नहीं माफ कर दियो मैं तो कुछ गलत कह हो गया. I must be wrong. जाम एक ही अब उसको तो जाती. महाराज तुसी ठीक हो. एक पैर रहता है Amrit Vela. जो तुसी क्या हो गया.
हंकार जमा ही नहीं है.
That's it. Completely.
No ego whatsoever.
Again, it's not even that I saw. I'm stating the facts. No, if Guruji said it, that's it. That's when Guru Maharaj, बहुत ही प्रेम they get Bhai Lehna Ji. Lehna को बैठाए थे गाला. In the following day, they get Bhai Lehna again to sit बैठो. On the Gurgaddi the तख्त थे. Sangat सारे बुलाए थे. All the Sangat. दोनों so they get the children as well. सारे होंगे ने. लहने को करना यो तेरा महाराज प्रेम दी दृष्टि नाल कृपा दृष्टि नाल दे लोखा भाई लहना जी लिए पंच पैसे एक नलिएरा कीन प्रदर्शन तीन चौफेरे करते तर क्या पेट अगेरे महाराज दे कहते नारियों दते दे कहते पांच पैसे तीन परिक्रमा कर देने गुरु नानक देव जी महाराज सतगुरु महाराज themselves गुरु नानक देव जी महाराज जगत गुरु हाथ जोड़ के शीश नवाए हाथ जोड़ के शीश नवाते ने in front of भाई लहना जी दे मुझे आगे करी जाने तुसी Mari to stop was that. Jo tu कहना सच होना after this ना. Then they give the vachan in front of the whole Sangat. Angad नाम आज देखो आज तो तेरा नाम हो गया Angad. No longer Lehna. Why? निज अंगन ते कीनो तू मेरे अंगन के समान हो गया. Me and you, ang meaning your limb body, like your part of mine. There's no difference between us two. And again we have this one thing in our house as well to do with Jap Ji Sahib. And this is quite interesting. And again I'll check this and सारे संप्रदाय में भी ये मानी गई है. Guru Maharaj they give this hukum to Bhai Lehna Ji that ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਉਚਾਰਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਲੀਪ ਜੈ ਬੀਨਾ ਬੇਨ ਵਸ਼ੇਖਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣੀ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਵੀ ਆ ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਮਰਿਆਦਾ ਬੰਨੀ ਆ ਕੋਈ ਇਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਜੀ ਹਮ ਹੈ ਸੁਨਾਵਤ ਜਾਓ ਉਚਾਰਾ ਬੰਦ ਬੇਜਾਤ ਕਰੋ ਉਪਕਾਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਬਾਣੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਚਾਰੋ I want to listen to it from your mouth they say ਹਮ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਜਨਮ ਹੈ ਪਛਤਾਤਾ ਤਿੰਨ ਸਭ ਕੋ ਹੋਵੇ ਗਤ ਦਾਤਾ and eventually Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, वो सारी वाणी का उच्चारण करते हैं. जप जी साहिब की वाणी. The structure that we have today, सोचा सोचना हो, एक हुक्म हो, गावे को दान, all this podium and the slok as well. All that structure was given by Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Okay. So all this podium, Guru Maharaj put in this structure. And the moment Guru Angad Dev Ji ये वाणी उच्चारते हैं, तब जप नाम तरियो गुण खानी. Guru Maharaj ने कहा, ये वाणी का नाम जप होगा. जप जी साहिब for respect. And Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, they say the mem of Jap Ji Sahib this time. They hear this Bani, and this is what they say, the mem of Jap Ji Sahib. Jo nar hai Sikhi abilaki. Those that have this prem for Sikhi, Sikhi dharan karni. I want to be a Gursikh. Nisme uthe, se kare hain shanana, jap pad hai, ek chit savdhan. Amrit vele jaage, eh Jap Ji Sahib da, eh Bani da part tusi karna hi karna. No matter whether you keep your case, whether you don't, whatever family background. If you just call yourself a Gursikh, तुसी ये बानी का पाठ करना ही करना है, okay? No matter what. अर्थ विचार करें गुरबानी, इस बानी का अर्थ विचार लेना, understand the गुरबानी. मुक्त होए सो संशय नहीं, कोई शंका नहीं, उन्हें मुक्ति प्राप्त होगा. कोई शंका नहीं. बहुत की कही है. हमारा देखा भी. Look how easy Maharaj made it for us. Yeah. जब जी सेवन प्रीत सो जाहि, माम समीप प्राप्त होता है. Those that जब जी सादा सेवन करते ने प्रेम ना बानी ना प्रेम ना करते ने विचार देने हृदय विच है ना तार देने. That person comes closer to me, I would say. And Mam Sami Prabhu Vedam. That Gursikh is dear to me. Guru Angad Dev Ji is saying. But hai kamna, but hai ekman, oh his apuran, take it touching. If someone wants to read it with a kamna, like I have I want something. But ovi parla unno bhi प्राप्त हो जाएगा. वो भी हो जाएगा. And this is very key as well. Maharaj say, होए सिख जप कंठ ना कीनो. जेरे call themselves a Gursikh, but जप जी सादा पाठ कंठ ही नहीं कीता. They don't even try and memorize. Naam Tariq, no Naam Tariq, they're only called a Gursikh by name. They're not practicing Sikhi. That's what I'm saying. Naam Tariq Gursikh. Only Bek, only Pek hi tare aake, main Gursikh. So tu Jap Ji Sahib continue. So that's why we constantly see this. Like even our parents, the first thing is Jap Ji Sahib. That's the first step, isn't it? Yeah. Again, that's the memo of Jap Ji Sahib. First time we have Jap Ji Sahib, like in this particular order. And that's from the mouth of Guru Angad Dev Ji. Yeah. And it's not impossible. You can do it. You know, to get a kant, to get it off by heart. It's not impossible. You can do it. No one should think. I can't do that. I'm not a Sikh. No, you shouldn't think like that. Jada hega man vich do ardas to Maharaj ki Maharaj kripa karo. Thode bache na. It's just having this itch that I want to get it. And doing the ardas. And Maharaj, oh, hold on there. Yeah. But it's just Maharaj saying those are. They call themselves a Gursikh, but Jap Ji Sahib part kar deenge. This Bani da Guru Angad Dev Ji said, na. This is the prema of Guru Angad Dev Ji towards Guru Angad Dev Ji saying, "Ye Bani ye na, unhone ikathi ki hai. If someone doesn't read that, they're not my Gursikh." In that we sort of. Yeah. And then eventually, Gurgaddi dente ne, and they say to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, "Hum tusi Khadur Sahib jao. You're not to stay at Khadur Sahib, tusi Khadur Sahib jao. Otte Dharam-saal bana tusi." And then by Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, oh, for Bairaag ja. Does that mean Guru Maharaj tusi apna sharir tyag lage ho? And they say, "Han tusi dekhna nahi. You're not going to be here when I leave my body. Tusi mera hukum mano. It's my final hukum to you. Go Khadur Sahib right now. Asi apna sharir tyag lena." And oh hukum mande ne. And they go towards Khadur Sahib. And bahut hi Bairaag vich ne that, you know, my Satguru that I've been serving for God knows how many years, and all this prem that I literally day and night just think about them. They're going to leave this world. Had another swoop, but it's just that prem di avastha. And they make their way to Khadur Sahib. And they are man di avastha. Maun tare, nahi kaun nahi mile. Just stop rendene. They don't want to meet anyone. They don't want to see anyone's face. Vich pawan bare pek mai pirai. So they go to their Puaji, whose name is Mata Pirai. Ona de ghar jande ne, kothi vich jande ne. Te chop chop hoke baith jande ne. They're back at their house. And Mata ji, oh bhi Gursikh sige. They ask Guru Angad Dev Ji, kaun se thaan bata de sakta hai? How come you left Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj? You're always with them. You never come to our house. How come you come now? Kyun tum kothri aan thire man pang hai mukh na viskai? How come, you know, your face, it doesn't have that radiance, that happiness anymore? Ki ho gaya? And duje paas they stay quiet. Kosne hai. Lochan neer bimochat sochat. Lochat hai chit mein kare. And they just see Mata ji, they just see tears on the face of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. And Maharaj kosne bolde. That's when Mata ji they realize. Ash dasha pe ka jani hriday tin Shri Guru na is lok thire. Una jaan ke Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they must have left now. Then Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, they finally speak for the first time. They say to their Puaji, Kotri ko darso chin dev. And close this quote. Kaho kis paas na kaise batai. Don't tell anyone I'm here. Kisi nu na daso. Moh par yahan upkaro, upkar karo. Please, this is my one benti to you. Biche baith raho, jim khwaya na lakhai. Kisi nu pata na lage main ithe baitha. And Mata Piraji, their Puaji, oh, and 7 bachan theek hai ji. They know that Guru Maharaj, ਤੇ ਪਰਮ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਘਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 7 ਵਜੇ then ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ no one knows where Guru Angad Dev Ji are and our ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਹੈ 6 months go by ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਮਾਧੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੀਨ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਿਜ ਸਰੂਪ ਆਤਮ ਸਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੀਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ 6 months go by and the Gursikhs they're just yearning where is our words because Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj they left this world by this time and this is the Gursikhs they're saying Shri Guru Murti deep times we can't see Guru Maharaj so what can the rhythm mur jaye just as you have a plant without water then come la janda just dies away that's their hirde their heart without the darshan of their guru ਇਹ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਹੈ then they think they all get together all the Gursikhs ਕੀਨ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਭਲੋ ਸਭ ਹੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਆਪ ਗੁਰੂ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਾਰ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ ਕਿਹਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ they always say this one thing again and again ਮੇਰੋ ਸਰੂਪ ਦੇਖੋ ਤਾਂ ਅੰਗਤ my ਸਰੂਪ is in ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਵੇਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਇੱਕਮਿਕ ਬਣਾ ਇੱਕਮਿਕ ਇੱਕ ਸਰੂਪ ਤੇ ਬਵੈਰਿਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੱਭੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ now we want to save Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj but where are they so they turn to Baba Buddha Ji Baba Buddha Ji they had this bachan from Guru Nanak Dev Ji ਅਸੀਂ ਤੇ ਤੋਂ ਓਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਵਾਂ you know wherever I am and we can discuss this with the ਤੀਜੇ ਪਾਠ episode when Bhai Datu Ji kicked Guru Amar Das Maharaj in the Shakti Guru Amar Das went back to the pen it was Baba Buddha Ji ਦਾ ਬੋਲਣਾ
yes that's right
so they turn to Baba Buddha Ji say Baba Ji ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਓ where is Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj in the second form Shri Guru Nanak Deen Mujab Guru Maharaj ji ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਬਾਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ this blessing okay ਮੈਂ ਜੇ ਹੋਵਾਂ ਪਛਾਣੋ ਤਾਂ wherever I be you know so they go to Baba Buddha Ji Baba Buddha Ji they take the Sangat towards Khadur side to Mata Pirai Ji's house and or ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ they ask Mata Pirai Ji where is Guru Angad Dev Ji Mata Ji ਕੁਛ ਕਹਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ they had spoken that I'm not allowed to share where is Guru Angad Dev Ji ਉਹ ਚੌਪ ਬ੍ਰਦਰਸ ਨੇ and all the Gursikhs they're like they must be here somewhere that's when Baba Buddha Ji ਉਹ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਦੇ all the Gursikhs they do ਅਰਦਾਸ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਆਪ ਲੋਕ ਪਏ ਜਬ ਤੇ ਤਬ ਤੇ ਵਿਆਕੁਲ ਦੇਖੇ ਬਿਨਾਂ they all say ਕਿ हे ਮਹਾਰਾਜ in their ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ the moment ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਲੋਕ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਆਕੁਲ ਹੋਏ ਪਏ we're just wondering without your darshan ਦੁੱਖ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਓ ਬਾਹਰ ਰੂਪ ਦਿਖਾਓ हे ਮਾਤਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੋ ਬਾਹਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਰੂਪ ਦਿਖਾਓ ਸੇਵਾ ਹੈ ਸਿੱਖ ਆਨੰਦ ਕਰਨਾ may these Gursikhs be able to do your ਸੇਵਾ and ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਨੰਦ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਏ from your ਸੇਵਾ ਯੋ ਕਹਿ ਬੁੱਢੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੱਥ ਉਹ ਖਾਰ ਚਿਨਿਓ ਦਾ ਖੋਲਣ ਕੀ ਨਾ and after this ardas Baba Buddha Ji they do ardas request first then they open that door towards Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj and this is what they see the Gursikhs they see ਦੂਜੇ ਬਾਰ ਸਮਾਧੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ ਕੀਨ ਸਭਾ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰੋ then they do ਬੇਨਤੀ again they finally see Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj ਕਰੋ ਕਰਨਾ ਗਨ ਸਿੱਖ ਚ ਹੈ ਬੈਠ ਸਿੰਘਾਸਨ ਜਿਉ ਕਮਲ ਆਸਨ ਦੇਖੋ ਦੀਦਾਰ ਕਲੋਕ ਦਾ ਹੈ हे ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਿੰਘਾਸਨ ਦੇ ਬੈਠੋ ਅੰਦਰ ਗੁਰਤਾ ਤੱਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਬਖਸ਼ੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਾਪ ਨਾਸ਼ ਕਰੋ and eventually Guru Maharaj they open their eyes and this is what the Gursikhs see they see this roop of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj Peet Haran the skin is gone all pale they're not eaten 6 months but in that one samadhi for 6 months continuous so dubre and their limbs have become all weak the body all really skinny and so on umang mahang Guru Ji andar sai but even then by having darshan of Guru Ji ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਈ even though Maharaj in this state ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਮਨ ਅੰਦਰ they had that ਖੁਸ਼ੀ and Guru Angad Dev Ji the moment they open their eyes they see the Sangat this is the same Sangat they did seva of Guru Nanak Dev Ji with and seeing the Sangat they remember Guru Nanak Dev Ji and they pete ne dasan ko Guru Nanak paas the samdai this is the same Sangat that we did seva with like our Gurbai prem prabha badhiyo ਉਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਨ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੈਰਾਗ ਵਧ ਗਿਆ they remembered Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj ਉਚਾਰਿਓ ਤਬ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਨਾ and this is the first time they do ਉਚਾਰਨ of Gurbani this is the first sloka ਮਹਲਾ ਦੂਜਾ ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਸਿਉ ਨੇਹੋ ਤਿਸ ਆਗਿਆ ਮਰ ਚੱਲੀਐ ਤ੍ਰਿਗ ਜੀਵਨ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਆ ਪਾਛੈ ਜੀਵਨ and again doing the arts of this like ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਜਾਣੀ ਉਹੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ I can just say it simply but they're saying ਜਿਹਦੇ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਹੋਵੇ it's better to die before them ਤ੍ਰਿਗ ਜੀਵਨ ਸੰਸਾਰ living after that person ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿਆਰੇ is not worth living they talk about the avastha of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj they're saying for me it's not worth living that Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj they left this body and that was their avastha this is the first Gurbani that sloka they do and eventually the word spreads and Guru Angad Dev Ji pragat ho gaye after 6 months and ਫਿਰ they listened to the benti of the Gursikhs and also the hukum of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj ਫਿਰ ਉਹ Dharam-saal ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ Khadur ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਿੱਚ and again the same mahal that you had in Kartarpur Sahib you have now in Khadur Sahib okay गादी लई गुरता गुर अंगद सो बिदते सुन पावत है बहु रबाबी कीर्तनगार बिद रबाबी कीर्तन द सेम माहौल सुन है बीच संगत रगावे संगत गुरबानी सुन के आनंद प्राप्त करते हैं या द लंगर as well चातुर वर्ण है समसर वैसे और भी विचार वर्णा दो खत्री ब्रह्म शूद्र वैसे और खास एक थां बैठते हैं लंगर वास्ते जैसे रंग राप ही वैसे या द poor and also the rich and again and this one thing we learn about Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj as well बच्चों में हो रहते थे kids as well children ग्राम बाल के लेहों बुलाए all the children in Khadur side they come towards Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj हर एक सोग जिन होए न कर towards Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj and what they do is they also play with the kids but also teach the kids as well Gurmukhi as we know Guru Angad Dev they're the one that you know
made it official
the official Gurmukhi script so they teach and play as you know like when we do cats you have to play with the kids only then you can teach them and I know about your बैठे रहते हैं अगर उधर you have to make it fun that's what Guru Maharaj is doing and in the afternoon what the routine would be पहर तीसरो एक बतावे हैं पहलवान था गुरु बुलावे Guru Maharaj they call wrestlers in as well
okay
because now they've taken this responsibility संगत ने अरदास में किया तुसी गुरदा तक दे बैठो ना तुसी संगतां दा उद्धार करो have the langar have the kirtan as well the teaching as well and also they say okay I see Sikhs we're going to keep them fit as well so they'll call pehlwans and people wrestling and get the Gursikhs to take part as well and you know amazing atmosphere in the Khadur side and eventually Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj again they're always in this they're always remembering Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj every single breath and they asked Baba Buddha Ji Baba Buddha Ji ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਤੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਚਿਰ ਪਹਿਲੋਂ ਮਿਲੇ ਹੋਏ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣਾਓ ਮੇਰੀ ਪ੍ਰੀਤਮ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਬਾਤ ਸੁਣਾਓ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣਾਓ ਨਾ I want to hear about my the Gursikhs of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj before I met them they did the Darshan and so on I want to hear everything Baba Buddha Ji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਣਾਉਣ ਜੋਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ I don't have that ਸਮਰੱਥਾ in me ਤੇ ਵਿਕਰੋ ਭਾਈ ਬਾਲਾ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾ I mentioned they call Bhai Bala Ji, find Bhai Bala Ji, who they are, and blonde and this is why important in our house. A vichar to Bala ayo, Bala Ji aye. Guru Prasang 3% उन्होंने सारी कथा गुरु नानक देव महाराज जी सुनाई है. Yeah. So हम पूरब जैसे कवि जी speaking ना directly दे रहे. So हम पूरब ही कह आए छंद चौपे बंद बना. The same katha that Bhai Bala Ji did was in Bhai Bala Ji Janam-sakhi. Again, eventually over time. Or the Malawat Begi, different copies, the Kavi Panthis, they put their own version in. So Kavi Santokh Singh Ji, they're saying, hey, I've done this katha, I've got different sources together as well. And I've put in the form of CD Nanak Prakash. What show the Suraj which? Shandam which, Jopi which. And ohi katha ya, that Bhai Bala Ji said to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj.
So just to touch upon this in a little bit more detail, where Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj asked Baba Buddha Ji, so in their mind, they had a furna that if we could get all the Gursikhs, all the itihas before I met them, that'd be amazing to tell the world, And then Bhai Bala Ji at Raipur in Talwandi, which is now known as Nanak Sahib, right? Othe Bhai Bala Ji had a furna in their mind. They had a thought in their mind that I wonder who's on the Gurgaddi now after Guru Nanak Dev Ji. I wonder who it is. And then they hear that is Guru Angad Dev Ji and they're at Khadur side. So in their mind, let's go meet them then. And then they go to meet Guru Angad Dev Ji. They go into the Darbar side with all the rest of the Sangat. They go and sit down. And then Guru Angad Dev Ji might ask them, who are you? Kithu aaye ho? I've come from Raipur di Talwandi. I was Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Mitter. And as soon as they hear that, they hug them really tight and go, yo Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, you've stayed with them and everything. That auto fair of that itihas likhon there sara by Bairaag Ji no Gursikh no belong there. They start writing it while Bhai Bala Ji are narrating it. And it's probably a nice time to plug in for that Sikhi that we've been going through for the past 5 years. Or through that exact, like by Bala Ji narrating it to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, and that's how the Nanak Prakash, the Granth has been formed, where we go through right from the beginning. So what they do then is then Bhai Bala Ji go back, Bhai Bala Ji and a few other Gursikhs go back to Raipur Talwandi and they get the Janam-sakhi. Janam-sakhi leke aunde ya. And then they bring the Janam-sakhi back to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, and then the Janam-sakhi they put it to their chest, or beyond that they house. that Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, that their tears stop falling from their eyes, and this is my Guru Sahib. It's nothing to do with the paper or anything like that. It's not even like to do with what is written on there, right? It's just that this is my. It's a Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's Janam-sakhi, and they just put it to their chest for ages and they cry, and it's just the relationship that they had with Maharaj, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
It really is. And again, so I think कई बार शंका आ जाता है कईयों दे ये गुरु नानक देव दा रूप ही ने. Why are they like in this Bairaag avastha? But this came up before, and I forgot to mention this. But when Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, they blessed Bhai Lehna Ji with Brahm Gyaan. And to see Bhai Lehna Gyaan ho gaya, because typically it's like it follows a karma passion and Gyaan. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਮ ਕਰਨੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੇਵਾ ਰਹਿਤ ਰੱਖਣੀ and Bhagti as well. And eventually ਜਦੋਂ ਸਫਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ get ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਗਿਆਨ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀ ਹੈ. And ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਗਿਆਨ ਪਾਇਆ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਕਰਮ ਹੈ ਨਾਸ. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਗਿਆਨ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਕਰਮ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਂਦੀ. ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸੇ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਆ ਰੀਤ ਰੱਖਣੀ ਆ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲਾ ਸੰਭਾਲਣਾ ਹੈ. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਬਾਬਾ ਬੁੱਢਾ ਜੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਆਪ and they follow the same ਰੀਤ. Every Gursikh does, even though they have this ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਗਿਆਨ ਦੀ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵਸਿਆ ਪਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ. Even though they're the same group of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ that Gursikh and Guru connection is still there. Yeah. And I think something really interesting as well is eventually we have Humayun. Yeah. So the Mughal emperor at the time of Guru Nanak Dev Ji was Babur, and his son, the second Mughal emperor, at the time of the second Guru, we have Humayun. So he was a Mughal emperor at the time, and at the time the Mughal empire wasn't that big. It's only northern India, top of India. And one of the biggest losses he had was against the Afghans. And the biggest battle he lost was the Battle of Kannauj in 1514. And this was against someone called Sher Khan Suri, who later called himself Sher Shah Suri, like the Shah. Right. So he loses his battle, Humayun loses his battle, and he loses over 2/3 of the whole Mughal empire. Literally loses everything. And he's literally homeless at this point. He ran away from the battle. He loses everything, he runs away from the battle. And he's got a few people with him, he's a vizier and so on. I know vichar karda, he's like, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, my father went to them, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਮਿਲੀ ਸੀ but ਤੈਨੂੰ 7 ਪੀੜ੍ਹੀਆਂ ਤੱਕ ਨਾ ਰਾਜ ਹੋਊਗਾ. What's happened now? He's so confused. Now I've literally lost everything, now I'm homeless. And this is what he says to his vizier, now Shri Nanak ko sevak pura hai ke nahi gadi par who's on the gadi now? I want to go to them, I want to ask him what's going on, what's happening. Because I know ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਚਨ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ. ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਮੰਨੇ ਪਰ ਮੰਨੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਡਿਆਈ ਸਾਰੀ ਜਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੈਲੀ ਹੋਈ ਸੀਗੀ. ਤੇ ਸੋ ਕਰੇ ਮੇਰ ਹਮਜ਼ਾਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਾਓ. ਹਮ ਪਿਤ ਬਾਬਰ ਤਹਿ ਤੇ ਪਾਈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਬਾਬਰ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ this was this blessing. Let me meet that person. And the wazir, he said, now we have a Khadur Sahib, Guru Angad Dev Ji, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਨੇ. ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਪੁੱਛਾਂਗੇ what's going on, ਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ ਆ. ਸੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਖਡੂਰ ਹਮਾਯੂ ਆਇਓ ਖਡੂਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅੰਗਦ ਜੀ ਜਹਾਂ ਸੁਹਾਇਓ. And at the time ਸੰਗ ਬਾਲਗਨ ਖੇਲਤ ਵੈ ਸਤਿਗੁਰਾਂ ਦੇ playing with the kids and teaching the kids at the same time. ਹਰ ਕਸ਼ੋਗ ਜਿਨ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ. And that's what Humayun sees. He just sees Sadhguru Maharaj ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ, they're playing with the kids, they're teaching the kids. And ਬਾਹਰ ਬੈਠਾ ਆ from the side ਉਹ ਵੀ ਬੰਦਨਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ ਬੰਦਨ ਠਾਨ ਹਮਾਓ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ. This just look Guru Nanak na kariyo. But even then Guru Maharaj they didn't look at it. Maharaj is focusing on the children. Parchit rahe balgan saath. Balgan on khedi jande. Time passes, minutes pass by. He keeps on standing there. Man hankar bahunda hai, gussa hunda hai. Tab Humayun man koob vishek, bahut hi gussa hai. Na isne man dekha mere wal dekhya hi nahi. Aam da Mughal Badshah mere wal dekhya hi nahi ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ. ਦਵਾਇਆ ਕਟਕਾ ਮੈਂ ਠੰਡ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਚਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਖੜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਸੂ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵ ਨਾ ਮਨ ਮੈਂ ਰਹੇ ਕੁਛ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ. ਇੰਨਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ he puts his hand to his talwar. I'm running him ਮਾਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ. Again remember this guy has lost everything as well. Hankar still he still got this hankar and he's also in anger as well. Most sangar chimte hota hai and the moment he tries to pull his talwar on the heart he just stuck there. He was not able to do anything. ਇਹ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਤ ਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਲਾਏ ਇੰਦਾ ਖਲੋਂਦਾ ਆ ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਸਾਰੋ ਬਲ ਹਾਰੀ ਉਸ he puts all his energy into it. He's unable to do anything. And this is ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ they look at him and ਵੀਰਾਸ ਹਮਾਯੂ ਵੱਲ and they say to him ਉੱਚੀ ਉੱਚੀ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਸੋ ਕੱਛ ਨਾ ਵਸਾਏ ਖੜਗ ਹੱਤਨ ਹਮ ਪਰ ਚਲਾਏ. when you were fighting against ਸ਼ੇਰ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਉਦੋਂ ਤੂੰ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਚਲਾਈ ਉਦੋਂ ਤੂੰ ਭੱਜ ਗਿਆ. now you want to pull that same ਤਲਵਾਰ against us against these children. ਇਹ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ and Kavi Santokh put explanation of that. Kair payo, Paj Garawa. You as a cow you run away. Guru Angad Dev Ji saying.
Maharaj breaking the Hankar.
Hum hai surta. Oh, you run away as a coward and you want to show you a warriorness to me. This is what Maharaj is saying to him. Ado pashtaun aate. Oh, nimrata jaga. This is what he's thinking. Pona murkh pashtaun na gaya. Ke main ta murkh what am I doing? Kariyo khot mein hoto bhag main ki kar eh ta fakir ne bacche ne. And I'm trying to pull my talwar against them. तब हम आओ बहुत बिनती ठाने बार बार बिनती की शिम हो गुरु मैंने माफ कर दो मैं बड़ अनजान मारा मैं बहुत ही अनजान मैंने माफ कर दो eventually he comes to the sharan of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ and he does his ਬੇਨਤੀ he says Shri Nanak ਜੀ ਜ਼ਾਤ ਖੁਦਾ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਖੁਦਾ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ ਅੱਲਾਹ ਤਾਲਾ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਸੀਗੇ ਤਿੰਨ ਕੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਬਹੁਤ ਦਿਲਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਮਿਲੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਪਰ what's happened now has it finished ਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ ਇਹਨ ਕੀ ਕਾਰਨ what's the reason for this ਬੂਝਤਾਵਾ तुम सा उनका भेद ना पाओ कि हे गुरु अंगद देव जी I've recognized you as the same as Guru Nanak Dev Ji that's why I've come ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੇ give that ਜਵਾਬ ਸਹੀ अब जे धरत ना कर तरवारा तो पत शाहिद अब ही पात like if you want to draw your sword है ना in your अहंकार in your anger पत पास है मैं तेन हुनी दे देनी सी ये परमेश्वर की खेप सी to test you कसौटी सी I would have given it to you right now and Guru ji they do this question say Jai Vilayat, ab firao. Now go to the Middle East. Udhar ga. Chhattar tak Delhi banao. Then come back to Delhi. Fir dino tak mil juga. And that's exactly what happens. Humayun, he goes to Herat, which is in Afghanistan. He goes to Kasveen, which is in Iran. Then what he does is he gains allies. Yeah. And eventually, after a whole decade, after 13 years, he comes back, reinvades India, and he gains the Mughal Empire back. And this time he has to fight against his brother. But that's how he gains his empire.
Okay.
And we duje pasha de bachan duje pasha de bachan de naam hoya siga I thought that was really interesting as well and again a lot of I think we'll end with a few Gursikhs de prasang as well typically because a lot of these prasangs is when Gursikhs they come to Guru Maharaj they ask a question and the same questions we have as well and there's so much you can learn from
of course
and what Bhai Gujjar they mentioned all these Gursikhs names in that Gyaan Maharaj And what Bhai Mani Singh has done is the Gursikhs came there, Maharaj, Bhai Mani Singh ji, Bhai Gurdas have mentioned all these Gursikhs. And then the Katha vi sunao sanu. We only have the names, and I want to hear the Katha. So Bhai Mani Singh ji, we have this Granth by them called Sulakhani Ji. And each one of those Gursikhs, Bhai Mani Singh ji, they describe the Sakhi. Yeah. And what Kavi ji has done, unhone bhi oda alag tha in Nanak Prakash as well. So they included that.
Right.
Yeah. So we have this Gursikh, and this applies to everything. And this one prasang is summarized all of Sikhi.
Right.
That's what I thought.
Right.
And the Gursikh's name is Bhai Gujjar. And Gujjar now so Jap Lohar. And he's a blacksmith by trade. That's what he did. That's his profession. And he says to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, Guru Maharaj Sharm Chunda Khadur Sahib, Suno Guru Ji, Heit Ahar. Maharaj for a living, for my kirt. Then Sagre Ham Thane Hekar. I spend the whole day having to provide for my family. Kirt karni bandi hai. फिर फसे ग्रस्त पाए ना अविकाश मैं ग्रस्त विच फसया हुआ
the word that they use
फसे ग्रस्त then he literally said I don't have time ना समय नहीं मिलता है मैं की करा ना सेवा करें रहे तो जीदा कर दे मैं सेवा करना ताकि पास रहूं I want to ना जी वो कर दे हमरो भी के कोई को नहीं हमारा तुसी दसो मेरी कल्याण किवें होगी I will be saved जन्म मरण दा बंधन हमारा ये जन्म मरण दा बंधन नाश किवें होगा सतगुरु महाराज this what they say सुन सतगुरु कीनस उपदेश देता एक चित जप जी पढ़ो हमेशा again this is for every Gursikh regardless of where you are on your path on Sikhi एक चित होके जप जी दा पाठ हमेशा करना तुसी हमेशा जे तक वार पढ़ते होने चाहे as many times as you can उन्हें पढ़ो पढ़ रहो दीर्घ फल पाए पढ़ दे रहो ना whenever you get time whether that's when you're doing your work not doing your work जदों भी समय मिलेगा बाणी पढ़ी जाओ At the time Jap Ji Sahib one more we got different banis as well. And Jap Ji अर्थ विचार करो again फिर जब जी पढ़ो भी एक माने चित होगी पर अर्थानी विचार भी करो. Don't just fall on the step of reading it. Also learn what Guru Ji is saying. श्वास अंतर में तरो ते कोई शिक्षा अंदर तरो तो. And again that applies whatever Gurbani is. Then they tell him how to go about his days as well. जे पिग हो गरीब काज कर दीचा नहीं ते निकट मजूरी दीचा. If because you're a blacksmith, if a grieve comes to you for your service, another was mangona, and that applies whatever you do. If there's any grieve that comes to you for your service, whatever gift you do, Don't ask much from them. Jap Ji Arth Bicharan Karo, Jap Ji Arth Paro, and so on. And then they say, whatever you do, mano karma karne hai, daya kar hai, dinan parneet. Guru namit kar ho, Guru namit ho ke, now griba to daya karni. That's also really important. This idea of Guru namit is that seeing everyone as Guru Daru, Parmeshwar das roop jaan ke. Because typically what happens is, whenever someone does any deed, है ना, कोई चंगा कर्म करता है, मैंने फल मिलूगा, I've done a good thing. But they say, what was something that karma? It's like a shackle. Huh? For example, if someone's shackles, this good example comes up again and again in Qatar. Your shackles, whether it's iron or whether it's gold, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, shackles.
Shackles are shackles. So the same thing with Bab and Pun. The reason we come and go, this cycle of birth and death. Because I know अपने पिछले कर्मां दे भोगने पैंदे. Whether that's a Bab or a Pun. We have to do that. The way you can get rid of that is Guru nu mit jaan ke. Even if you're going to do a Pun, na, then Satguru Maharaj ताड़ा रूप जान के मैं ताड़ी सेवा करता है. No, I've helped this poor person when upon proper. That's what Guruji is telling this Gursikh. Guru namit jaan ke na sare kaam tusi karne. Then they say daswan daswan. Jo apni kach karo ho kamai, jeri tusi kamai karde from your blacksmith, your job. Gurhit deho daswan banai, daswan dena hi dena tusi. Okay. Then the seva of Gursikhs as well. Sadhik Sikh aaye jo dere. Whoever is sadhu Gursikh comes to your house, karo ho seva dar prem pade. Tusi ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ. ਉਹੀ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਹੋਗੀ ਉਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਲ ਪਾਓ look at that they literally summarize how to go about your whole life literally and there's another really nice one where there's 3 Gursikhs and I found this funny at the beginning because I was like ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਸਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ these 3 Gursikhs you have Deepa, Narayan Das and Bula they go to Guru Maharaj as like their friends, their trio ਬੰਦਨਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਬੰਦਨ ਕਰ ਭਾਖੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਇਹ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੋ ਜਨਮ ਮਰਨ ਦੁੱਖ ਦੇਹ ਵਿਨਾਸ਼ and look at these Gursikhs we have these itcha I want to call I want this but they keep on coming ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜਨਮ ਮਰਨ ਕਰ ਇਹ ਨਾਸ਼ ਕਰ ਦੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਹਮ ਭਗਤ ਨਾ ਜਾਣੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰੇ ਕਰੋ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਦੀ and they come together like ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਭਗਤੀ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਬਸ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਹਮ ਭਗਤ ਨਾ ਜਾਣੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਭਗਤੀ ਕੀ ਆ ਨਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਸਰੂਪ ਕੈਸੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਸੁਣੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਦੱਸੋ ਕੀ ਆ then Maharaj they explain everything they say there's 4 ways to obtain Vaheguru ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੈਰਾਗ ਜੋਗ ਅਰ ਗਿਆਨ ਚੌਥੀ ਉਪਜੀ ਭਗਤ ਮਹਾਨ ਜਾਂ ਬੈਰਾਗ ਜੋਗ and ਗਿਆਨ ਭਗਤੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਮਹਾਨ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ then they explain each one and according to Gurmat how are you going to follow each one so to Bairaag first ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੈਰਾਗ ਹੈ ਉਭੈ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਹੈ 2 types ਇੱਕ ਮਨ ਕੋ ਇੱਕ ਤਨ ਕੋ ਵਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਮਨ ਦਾ ਬੈਰਾਗ ਹੈ ਬਾਹਰਲਾ ਬੈਰਾਗ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਾਹਰਲਾ ਬੈਰਾਗ ਹੈਗਾ ਸਭ ਪਦਾਰਥ ਤਿਆਗ ਨਾ ਕਰੇ what people do is they leave everything the house and the family everything they leave it and they go out ਧਨ ਬਨਤਾ ਸੁੱਤ ਸਭ ਰਹਿ the ਇਸਤਰੀ the children the house everything they leave it behind ਹਟ ਕਰ ਬਾਹਰ ਕੋ ਤਜ ਦੇ ਰਹਿ ਵਾਸਨਾ ਦੇ ਦਿਨ ਕੀ they go to the jungle thinking ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਬੈਰਾਗੀ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਉਹੀ ਵਾਸਨਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ they think about the same thing that they left ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਵੇ I wonder how they're doing ਨਾ they say ਪਰ ਬੈਰਾਗ ਸਾਡੇ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ what is ਬੈਰਾਗ ਦੂਸਰਾ is inwardly detachment having this detachment ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ but you're not going to be attached to this ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਮਿੱਥਿਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਲੋਕ ਲਾ ਸਾਰੇ not only the pleasures of this world ਬਾਸ ਵਿਸ਼ਟਾ ਸਮਝਾਰ they say the pleasures of the afterlife as well people think I'll do something good and then I'll get pleasure in the afterlife ਉਹ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ must ਵਿਸ਼ਟਾ ਸਮਾਨ see as ਗੰਦਗੀ as nothing you have to get rid of that that's what true vairag is ਹਿਰਦੇ ਵਾਸਨਾ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਕਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਵਾਸਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਨੀ any desire get rid of it completely ਸੁਪਨ ਸਮਾਨ ਜਾਣ ਪਰ see this whole world as ਬਸ ਸੁਪਨਾ ਵਰਗਾ everything ਨਾਸ਼ਵੰਤ ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਨਾ you go about your days and your grist daily that's vairag that's one so then they talk about jog ਹੈ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤਥਾ ਜੋਗ ਵੀ ਦੋ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਜੋਗ ਵੀ ਦੋ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਾਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਕਸ਼ਟ ਜੋਗ ਔਰ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਕਸ਼ਟ ਜੋਗ and we see this in when Nanak Prakash you probably maybe cover later on was on you go to sit down go down there and they talk about jog and the swas charya and all the different types of jog that's kashta jog na ਮਾਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਕਸ਼ਟ ਜੋਗ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਯਮ ਨੇਮਾਦ ਅਸ਼ਟ ਹੈ you got 8 types yam niyam asana pranayam pratyahar ਧਿਆਨ ਧਾਰਨਾ ਸਮਾਧੀ all these different types different positions breathing techniques and if you go like India to like pilgrimage sites, you know, like the Bunga or the Khadur or something, you see so many different things. Like covered in ashes, standing in a nadi, one leg, and sitting in front of fire for ਕਰਨਾ ਤਪ ਕਰਨਾ ਇਹ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਯੋਗ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਪਰ ਮਾਸੇ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੁਣੋ ਯੋਗ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਮਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ ਰੋਕ ਵਾਸਨਾ ਤੇ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਰੋਕਣਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਸਦਾ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰਨੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਜੀਵ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਨਿਰਧਾਰ ਹੈ ਜੀਵ ਅਤੇ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਸਮਾਨ ਜਾਣਨਾ ਹੈ get rid of this idea that oh I'm this body I'm my thoughts I'm this like we build these blocks my name good takes this is all this is my profession ਉਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਤੋੜੋ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਜਾਣੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਯੋਗ so they explain ਬੈਰਾਗ ਯੋਗ and they have ਗਿਆਨ ਕਿ ਵਾਸਤਵ ਨਿਜ ਸਰੂਪ ਕੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੀ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਿਜ ਸਰੂਪ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਦੀ ਅੰਸ਼ ਹਾਂ I'm not this body I'm not my mind my thoughts anything इसको ज्ञान नहीं ज्ञान बताना इसमें ज्ञान है ये है असल ज्ञान typically when I mean nowadays as well कथा का जो ज्ञान guru they're talking about like akri gyan but the gyan हमारा talk about Gurbani is this type of gyan ये जरा अनुभव ना जरे सतगुरु की कृपा नाम प्राप्त होता है ब्रह्म ज्ञान so they explain these three things Namara says the easiest way for you to obtain Vaheguru is through Bhagti which is the fourth one and they're going to explain Bhagti as well ਤੇ ਚੌਥੀ ਭਗਤ ਰੂਪ ਸੁਣ ਲਿਓ ਭਗਤੀ ਸੁਣੋ ਭਗਤੀ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਜੀ ਕਲੀ ਕਾਲ ਇਹ ਮੁੱਖ ਲਖਿਓ ਇਨ ਕਾਲ ਇਹ ਸਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਮੁੱਖ ਹੈਗਾ ਸਹਾਇ ਸਬਬ all of them ਆਪ ਬਨ ਹੈ द्वारा प्रभ के ली पति व्रता की रीत रीत and they give the example of the pati व्रत स्त्री and again var Gurbani this example comes up again this is the one example Maharaj explaining to the Gursikhs then they explain what does the pati but is to do I mean ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਜ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ if you find one let me know they say tan man tan sab arp hai pit ko what she does is na to her husband tan man tan she gives everything ਉਹਦੇ ਆਗਿਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੁਸ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪਿਆਰੋ ਪਰਮ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਕਰ ਚਿਤ ਕੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਗਨ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਪਤਰ ਜਾਏ ਮੈਂ ਰਾਜ਼ੀ ਰਹੇ what her husband tells her to do ਖੁਸ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਵਿਚਰੇ ਨਿਤ ਮਿਲ ਵੇ ਕਹੋ ਚਾਹੇ the moment he separate ਉਹ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਪਰਦੇਸ਼ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਦੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ ਜਾਤ ਮਿਲੇ ਹੈ ਰਚ ਹੈ ਉਪਾਈ ਇਹ ਸੁਖ ਪਤ ਬਿਨ ਦੁਖਦਾਈ and she only obtains happiness the moment ਉਹਦਾ ਮਲਾਪ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਦੀਰਘ ਸਵਾਸ ਪਰੀ ਮੁਖ ਪੀਰੀ the moment she separate ਬਹੁਤ ਔਖੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਲੰਬੇ ਸਾਹ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਆ ਦੁੱਖ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਅਸ਼ਰੂ ਵਹਿ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਠੇਸ ਹੋ ਜਾ ਤਰਹ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਚੈਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਅਸੇ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਤਿਸ ਪਤ ਕੀ ਬਾਤ ਸੁਣਾਵੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਕੋ ਲਾਵੇ and again in Gurbani these examples odini I'm looking है ना मैं भाव विच कब कर आवे कदों करे आओगे मेरा पति परमेश्वर and again this avasada तै साहब की बात जे आखै कहो नानक क्या दीजा कोई मेरे प्रीतम तू गल भी सुना दवे ना what should I do to them for them cease बड़े कर वैसे I'll give my head to them जब मैं कोई गल भी सुना दवे ना परमेश्वर दी that's the avastha Guru ji explaining ठीक है and then again Sadguru explain this and they say ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪਤ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਪਛਾਨੈ ਮਿਲ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਿਆ ਸੋ ਰਲੀਆਂ ਠਾਨ and the pati the moment he realizes that ਹਾਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਸੱਚਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਉਹਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਤੁਰ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਭਗਤ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸਹੀ ਕਿ ਪਾਛਾ ਲੱਗੋ ਹਰ ਫਿਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਨੂੰ ਪਾ ਲਿਆ ਹਾਂ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਪਾਛੋ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਹਰ ਫਿਰੇ ਕਹਿਤ ਕਬੀਰ ਵਾਰ ਕਬੀਰ ਦੱਸੋ ਹੁਕਮ ਦਵੋ ਇਹ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਹੈ and that's how Guru Maharaj explaining this Bhagti hai ki ji and eventually Maharaj ji kirpa na kare bhagan wali avastha प्राप्त होती है ये प्रेम की अवस्था
it's that relationship again but it comes back to that's the relationship and
that Guru Angad Dev Ji had
from the that gave everything to Maharaj
literally and that's what they tell these Gursikhs to see ye come on and eventually Maharaj ji kirpa na ਉਹ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਭਗਤੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਨੂੰ ਪਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ and I had one more but we got the sign
no, this is for the viewers to do their own research to do their own homework as well and carry on listening to Katha as well listen to Katha from wherever you can don't just stop there we'll call it a day here now though and it's been amazing learning about all the listening to all the different Sakya learning about Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. One thing we could take away though, what would that be from this? Main thing, just in 2 words or 3 words.
Is that again from Bhai Lehna Ji before they met Guru Nanak? Sorry, before they became Guru. Is that whatever Guru Ji said? Karna hi karna.
Bas. Yeah. That's what I would totally agree with. Is not just whatever Maharaj is telling us to do. Let's do it. And not question it in that way. But we'll call it a day there. And guys, if we made any mistakes, please forgive us. But thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments down below to let us know how it's going. I think we've broken the record with this one. It's gone a bit longer than the previous ones.
We'll see.
But yeah, we'll catch you on the next episode. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.